Hello everyone! Welcome to a special episode of Kingdom Hearts 3. I realized I never actually completely looked at everything in the journal or gummy phone or whatever you want to call it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be splitting this up between sections or if I'm going to do it all in one video. I'm likely going to do it all in one video, so I'll be sure to try to include timestamps of when certain parts are. I want to start off with the Adversaries, because honestly this is my favorite part of the journal to read. And then I'm going to go for the character files, and I looked at the story and some of the descriptions are very, very long, but, you know, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try to read it. And then we have Adversaries. Okay, so we have Adversaries, character files, story, glossary, secret reports. And then real quick, I just want to show you game records here. Because, for one thing, there's a lot of shot locks to look at. A lot of things. We have Kingdom Keys, Noise Flux, Classic Tone, oh no wait, what the fuck? Oh, Kingdom Key, King of Hearts. There's also Ragnarok. I think that's like in a second form. Hero's Origin, Drain Shock, a shot lock that drains your opponent's HP and refills your own. Hero's Origin, Atomic Deluge, Shooting Star, Meteor Shower, and so on and so on. Shooting Star Meteor Shower, Shooting Star Diving Barrage, Shooting Star Cluster Commands. You get the gist. This is actually something you can look at in a, like report guides of all the different shot locks. There's also attractions. Pirate Ship, Mad Teacups, Blaster Blaze, Magic Carousel, Splash Run. I'm pretty sure these are actually attractions that are supposed to be based on Disney attractions, which I find to be pretty cool. Because of course I've never been to Disney myself, but man, do they make the attraction attacks look so magical. Link, Meow Balloon, 8-Bit Blast, King's Flare, Plasma Encounter, and Sea Spectacle. So that's a link to the Meow Wow, the 8-Bit Blast, the King's Flare, the Plasma Encounter, and the Sea Spectacle. I think I might actually, I don't know if I want to do this yet, but I might actually, make a separate video showing off some of these special links and attacks and stuff. I don't know though. Flantastic 7. You all remember these. The adorable little harmless flans. I actually had quite a lot of fun doing this. Verum Rex, Beat of Lead. Or Lead. Okay, so I wanna take a moment here to say that I actually managed to what's the word? Overcome? I managed to get past the actual score you need to get an achievement, which is 12 million points. I was farming a Verum Rex Beat of Lead so I could get Master Medals for Lucky Strike, and I ended up getting a score of 13,313,065 points, clearing the game in 2 minutes, 38 seconds, and 45 milliseconds. The time to help you get an A rank score is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I was just 8 seconds and 45 milliseconds off from getting an extra boost in a time bonus. But I think this is the absolute best score I possibly could have gotten. There's Festival Dance in Kingdom of Corona. Frozen Slider from Arendelle. Now, this was one of those, for those who didn't see that in the finale episode, this was one of those minigames where you had to go through it several times in order to get all the little treasures. Flash Tracer from San Fransokyo. 100 Acre Wood. With all the little minigames. Two things. If I sound a little flustered right now, it's because I actually woke up not too long ago. So, I apologize for that. Because, I'm still working out what it is I want to show, but I've at least shown the game records. And I can't guarantee this will be in the exact order you might want it, but I still want to go through and show things. So, yeah. Also, I actually read up a bit, I actually noticed something that someone pointed out no, it was TV Tropes that pointed this out, but in the 100 Acre Wood in Kingdom Hearts 3, you might have noticed that there was no Eeyore. Apparently that was because Eeyore's voice actor passed away several years earlier, so of course they couldn't get him in the game. Now, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix was, it was made before, I think it was made back in 2007. So, or was it? I think it was. If not 2007, it was made before his voice actor passed away. So, may he rest in peace, and may us never forget him, because, you know, it's always the hardest when a special voice actor like him for such a special little character in a special little world is gone. May he rest in peace. So those are the game records, and of course we have synthesis. And I actually want to point this out now. Whether this has been uploaded before or after the finale of, well, I wouldn't really call it the finale at this point, but whether this has been recorded or uploaded before or after I upload the quote-unquote final episode of the Re+Mind DLC, there is a boss or two that are absolutely insanely hard. And at first, I was considering giving up, but then I realized, if I put my mind to it, I can actually work out a plan to become stronger than that incredibly hard boss, and basically just absolutely demolish them. And my plan is, I basically want to create a lot of strength boost, magic boost, and defense boost. I want to see how far I can level up Sora, because if I can manage to really up my stats, I might have a better chance at actually beating the boss, considering how absolutely powerful it is. Now, I'm not going to say who the boss is, because I'm pretty sure I plan on uploading this before the finale episode of the Re+Mind DLC, so just to keep it a surprise. But getting these synthesis items is actually going to take a while, because there's an absolute fuck ton of things to collect when it comes to these, but I'm slowly working them out. The strength boost is the absolute hardest one to get, but I do have a guide as to where I can get these synthesis items. And I don't know how far I can boost my stats up, but I want to see just how many I can make. So, yeah. I actually plan on seeing if I can max out the total amount of synthesis items for each recipe. Like, for instance, I want to see how many Wellspring gems I can collect. Like, I want to see how many gems it goes up to before I reach my limit. And as crazy as it sounds, I want to see if I can actually max that out for each required ingredient. because then I can make as many of these boosts as I want. The thing is, strength, magic, and defense all share the Wellspring Gem and the Hungry Crystal, so I'm gonna have to make sure I have enough for all three. So, of course, we have every single thing we've ever made in Synthesis in the playthrough of the main game. The Ultima Weapon, the Warhammer Plus, the Astrolabe. It doesn't really tell you the stats because it's just telling you how to make it. But a lot of these items are very, very powerful. Heartless Maul Plus, Save the Queen Plus, Clockwood Shield, etc. And in case you're wondering, I actually had a plan that I executed before this. I went to the Caribbean, which is where I am now, and I actually went out and farmed for golden amulets. I think it was near, it was like in the northwest part of the map. Like, I go directly north and then straight west instead of northwest. And there is a pirate ship boss that if you defeat, it has a 30% chance of dropping a golden amulet. And this golden amulet, basically what it does is it allows you to convert small money into medium and large money. And when you're defeating enemies, you can earn a lot more money that way. Now, the reason I did this is because there is a method for grinding for money in Battlegate 0, right near the end of the Keyblade Graveyard, right in front of that large wall leading to that flat platform where we fought Ansem, Xemnas, and young Xehanort. But I found out I had to make a special food using cooked meals from the bistro in order to get the rags to riches effect. And I was like, if this is an effect that's going to be limited and I don't do it in time, I'd rather not risk it. So I just farmed in different ways, and I bought a crap ton of elixirs. So we have a lot of things here. And I remember that when it comes to synthesis, in the Moogle shops, I can actually buy crystals that I might need, but I already did that with some of the synthesis items. I apologize if I'm taking forever for these, but I'd like to remind you there are timestamps below that get to the parts you want to see. So, just letting you know. Recipe collection. Yeah, I remember this. I did not give up on any of these because I really wanted to just, you know, chop away. We got Mushroom Terrine, Scala Poêlée. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not French. Ratatouille, or as a certain chef once said, rat patootie. Lobster mousse, Caprese salad, consommé. I am so sorry if I'm butchering any of these. I really don't know how to pronounce these. These are like very Frenchy names. Pumpkin veloux, carrot potage, crab bisque, cold tomato soup. I don't know who would want to drink cold tomato soup, but you do you. So Manuel, I feel so I can already feel some of you cringing from me butchering these names. Il Matelot, Bouillabaisse, Seabass and Papit, Seafood Tartare, Seabass Poêlée, Sweetbread Poêlée. I don't know what poêlée is. Beef sauté, beef bourguignon, I don't fucking know. Stuffed quail, filet mignon poêlée, chocolate mousse, fresh fruit compote, crave Suzette, berries au fromage, warm banana soufflé, Fruit gelée. Tarda fruit. I am... those names, god damn. And of course there's all the treasures, but I'm not gonna go through like each one. Yeah, that's for the DLC. Weird that they actually include that in the main game, but you know, it's whatever. And then... okay, yeah. So, we've gone through these, so now we can look at the adversaries. So let's start with the Heartless. Shadow. Alright, Shadow. These shifty shades skulk around and then strike out of the blue. Stay locked on to make sure they don't give you the slip. They're immune to normal attacks when they dive beneath the surface, but a splash of water magic will yank them out of hiding in a hurry. These souped-up shadows hit hard and fast with their jump attacks. If they're in the air, better get out of there. Once they melt into the ground, they're beyond the reach of most attacks, but that's nothing a little water magic can't fix. Fight puddles with puddles. This actually was a very, very useful tip for when I was fighting in Battlegate 0, because my god, I did not think it was possible to just pull them out of hiding. Fluttering. Your best bet against these feather-flinging dive bombers is a blast of magic to keep them still just long enough to lay down some hits. If they drop to the floor, get ready for a nasty spinning charge attack. Jump over it and watch them go sailing out. Keep an eye on the sky when you're out and about. They like to perch on tree branches and other high spots to get the drop on prey. I honestly cannot take this guy seriously because he just fucking looks like a large-ass flying umbrella. I just cannot... I cannot hope to take this guy seriously. Like... You know what I think he looks like? Hang on. I swear this looked very familiar. He looked so familiar. What was that one thing from Alice in Wonderland? Wasn't there like a vulture with an umbrella for a body? Or yes, there was. There were these umbrella vultures in the movie. That's what these guys look like. That's what these guys look like. They look like those fucking umbrella vultures. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh my god, they really do. They look like the umbrella vultures from Alice in Wonderland. That is hilarious. Alright. Flame Core. Whoa. This guy's all pepped up and fired up. Pun intended. Make snuffing out these flame-flinging fiends a top priority or you're toast. And whoever said to fight fire with fire never met these things. Your red-hot spells won't even tickle. When in danger, they'll burst into flames and really bring the heat. Douse them with a well-aimed water or blizzard spell to chill them out, then finish the job. I always thought that trying to use ice on fire would not work because, you know, fire melts ice. But then I realized these blizzard spells are probably just incredibly cold. So cold, fire can't even thaw them. Water Core. Hit these sopping scoundrels while they're coated in water and they'll only teleport away. That's your cue to bring them the magical heat. A fire spell will evaporate that shield in no time. Okay, so that's actually a really good tip, because I'm actually farming for Wellspring Gems right now, and I was always wondering how the hell I was supposed to deal with their water shield attack. Just douse them with fire, I guess. Don't get caught out in their rain, or you'll come down with the extremely annoying cloud status. Earth Core. If you want to rock these baddies' world, aim for the face. Their pointy posteriors will only deflect your blows. Physical attacks will pass through them when they sand travel, but spells still hit home, so mash that magic. When they gather sand and grow enormous, a goofy bombardier will cut them down to size in no time. Dark Inferno. These dastardly dual wielders are like blenders on roller skates, except worse. You can try to keep your distance, but they'll soon close in on you, or else just huck a fireball your way. Be careful attacking when their blades are crossed. That means they're ready to counter. Stay cool, bide your time, and then strike when they drop their guard. Honestly, I know I should be afraid of this guy, but just the fact he has fucking like glowing wheels on his feet, it just looks so goofy. Cause like, I don't know, it just looks hilarious to me. I should probably like kind of rotate the models to help you guys get a good look at them. And I think the reason they're not counting this as a boss that can't be defeated more than once is I think this is actually the enemy you fought in one of the battle gates in the Keyblade graveyard. So I'm pretty sure I can go and fight it again. But wow, this guy does not look like he's messing around. Kind of reminds me of the what was it? Of the Invisibles from Kingdom Hearts 1. Soldier. As threats go, these aren't all that threatening, but that's no reason to be reckless. Just be careful not to get surrounded. Focus on taking them down one by one. Hi, Soldier. These are more or less just like vanilla soldiers, except way angrier. Wow, that's actually kind of a little bit intimidating. I do like the cute little spiral pattern on the side of their head though, or wherever it might be. Air Soldier. A soldier in flight is no cause for fright. Just watch for that charging attack and you'll be all right. When they fly out of walloping range, a blast of magic will do the trick. I did say I kind of woke up earlier. Large body. Don't get body checked by these oversized oafs, and watch out for the shockwaves when they come down from a jump. Their jelly bellies will bounce any frontal attacks, so circle around to the rear before slashing away. Magic works too. Get on their nerves and they'll turn red and charge at you. A blizzard spell ought to cool them off. These have to be the most iconic Heartless in Kingdom Hearts. Simply because of their large red and blue color palette, and just how large and recognizable they are. Also, I like how if you rotate some of these models, you can actually like add some physics to things like the chains on his wrists. I don't even know what the chains are for. Did he just break them loose because he was like restrained from how big and dangerous he was? I have no clue. Helmed body. Basically your garden variety large body. If your garden is full of extra aggressive monsters, which would raise more questions than it answers, really. Vermilion Samba. These fiery flyers come to a mid-air halt and conjure up a sigil before they launch flaming badness at you. Use that opportunity to strike. When they do start dishing out the rapid-fire spells, keep a cool head and dodge out of the way. Nothing rains on their parade quite like a cool sip of water magic. If you've got the MP to spare, go ahead and make a splash. Rapid fire spells. I see what you did there. Marine Roomba. These watery wizards swim through the air with the grace of the majestic trout. Before casting magic, they'll come to a stop and summon spears of water, leaving themselves open to attack. Think fast if they do start conjuring, because the speed of their spells is no joke. Nothing dries them up faster than a zap of thunder magic. If you've got the MP to spare, use it to give them a 1000-volt jolt. Honestly, some of these enemies just have so cool designs, which is why I'm glad they show them off. I'm glad they show off their models in the journal so that you can really get a good glimpse at them, because it's kind of a risk to look at them in the field while they're trying to attack you. But if they're idle like this, you can kind of see how they're animated, and it's so cool. Gold Beat. These electrical enemies zip through the air and zap you. They have to stop and conjure up a sigil before they can rain lightning down on you, so take that chance to exact brutal revenge. I've never heard that word before. Their rapid-fire thunderstorm will electrify you if it connects, so watch for the tell and don't get too close. Arrow magic will have them winded down in no time flat. Or winded in no time flat. If you've got the MP to spare, start flinging those gales. Malachite Bolero. These blustery baddies dance and whirl on the wind, but can't use magic without stopping to summon their sigil first. That's your cue to blow them away. If you see wind gathering at your feet, move away. Fast. Unless you like getting swept up in a tornado, that is. Nothing freezes them in their tracks quite like blizzard magic. If you've got the MP to spare, use it to put them on ice. I really like how humorous the journal descriptions can get. Popcat. Well, aren't you cute? Keep your wits about you when walking past pottery. You never know when it might sprout fuzzy limbs and attack. Once these scaredy cats show themselves, they'll start running around like crazy. If you try to create some distance, they'll huck smaller pots your way, but a well-timed block will return them to sender. Popcats are top-heavy and prone to face planting. When they stumble, make sure it's the last trip they take. Look at how cute it is, though. I mean, yeah, it's evil, but it's also really cute. Vitality Popcat. Smash these green Popcats to get at the bounty of HP prizes inside. Refreshing. Magic Popcat. Smash these blue Popcats to get at the bounty of MP prizes inside. Energizing. And Focus Popcat. Smash these red Popcats to get at the bounty of focus prizes inside. Invigorating. Money Popcat. Smash these gold Popcats to get at the mountain of monies inside. Score! Bizarre Archer. Archers that shoot arrows from their bows. Sound obvious? Well, that's honestly all there is to them. They pose little threat to you alone, but in packs, they're a problem. Return fire from afar with magic, or close the distance and introduce them to your Keyblade. They'll sometimes team up with air soldiers. Maybe they're buddies? I don't know, but... oh, I think you can actually see an arrow inside his quiver. That's cool. I like the little hat though. It looks like he's wearing a pair of pants on his head. Cute. Rock Troll. Think this massive muscle-bound monster is a slowpoke? Think again. Think it's no big deal when it stops swinging around that huge axe and it wears it as a mask? Think again. Again! Just keep swinging. You may not be able to damage a big guy while he's masked, but you can break his fancy face. Metal Troll. Imagine a rock troll that's always hangry. Yep, that's this guy. Satyr. Aside from a mean punch, the biggest threat from these bullies is their stampede attack. They always lower their visor before trying to ram you. If you can break the horns off those helms, you'll get the rest of the fight free of charge. And in formation, they're tougher to wrangle. Either break their ranks with a Trinity Guard, or keep your distance and pepper them with magic. Mechanitor. Face it, some satyrs are haters, and this is what they look like. Oh yeah, he's got a little he's got a little wind-up thing on his back. Toy Trooper. Those jetpacks and ray guns may be toys, but these masked intruders are anything but fun in games when they come barreling your way. They'll sometimes chuck grenades your way, but that's not necessarily bad news. After letting it fly, they'll hit the deck. Kick them while they're down. Or if you're feeling fancy, a well-timed Keyblade swing will return those grenades to sender. Definitely looks like someone you kinda don't want to mess with. Pole Cannon. Approach these turrets and they'll only warp away, so your best bet is to return fire from a distance with magic. The extending arm mount allows them a variety of firing positions. Silver lining? You'll look awesome swinging around that pole. I'm kind of surprised they don't give a prompt for this one to like look at different models. Because some of these enemies you can actually have different models you can look at. I guess they wouldn't really be able to... Well, I guess they could probably try to, you know, fit how the models look if this one is, like, raised up. But whatever. Also, if you look closely, you can see that this one actually doesn't, like, completely hold still. He kind of moves around a little bit. Yeah. Marionette. This puppet may not seem like such a pain when it rides around on its ring, but just wait until it possesses a nearby toy. Or, here's a better plan. Don't wait until it possesses a nearby toy. Sever the scoundrel's strings on sight. It's always kind of tripped me out when there's like Heartless with two faces. Although I'm pretty sure the real face is the one on top. He looks like a little planet. He's so cute. Power Wild. These impish chimps will swing through the trees and scrabble along walls while pelting you with nuts. Rude. Block whatever they throw and send it right back at them. They'll taunt and tease and try to bait you into attacking. The best response? Attack. They're wide open the whole time, silly monkeys. Pogo Shovel. Part pogo stick, part drill, and, thankfully, all pretty clumsy. Stay calm and sidestep its attacks, especially the pounce. Whiffing that one leaves this Heartless flat on its face and wide open. Most of the time, its shovel will dig up rocks to sling your way, but once in a blue moon, it'll hit a mother load of prizes. All yours for the taking. That is... honestly a cute little Heartless. He's so small. So small. I wonder what the lightning bolt on its shovel means, because it doesn't really say anything about that. Parasol Beauty. The prettiest roses have the cruelest thorns, or in this case, laser parasols and spinning skirts of doom. At distance or up close, they're not a threat to be taken lightly. Watch for the flash after they've opened their parasols. That's a sure sign you're about to eat beam. The good news is that blasting that laser takes these ladies temporarily out of commission. Use that time to make it a permanent retirement. It does look very ladylike, but that doesn't mean it's not dangerous. Chief Puff. These fluffians can fling their spores into the air to create puffballs. Eventually their own fluff will grow back, but that's nothing a gust of arrow magic won't fix. Keep clear of the pollen they send up, or you'll come down with an annoying fit of sneezing. Puffball. These wicked seedlings may look cute romping and rolling around, but make no mistake, they will bring the hurt if you let them. Don't let them. Chaos Carriage. Defensive driving is a foreign concept to these careening carts. Even if you take out the horses pulling them, another one will sprout to take its place. If any power wilds are around, those carts will stack up into a turret where the power wilds can rain pain down on you. Swat the simians before they can make with the monkey business. Winterhorn. A buck that chucks ice as it leaps and bounds. Fire magic will blast those frosty antlers clean off, making the fight a lot easier. Just don't go slinging blizzard spells at it, or that rack will come back. Frost Serpent. A skeletal serpent soaring on wings of snowpack. With a simple spin of its body, it gives rise to icy whirlwinds that gnash and rend all before it. Sound imposing? Bust those wings, and it's just on... Sound imposing? Bust those wings, and it's just a snake with arms. That doesn't mean it's entirely toothless on the ground. It can still burrow beneath Sora and his buddies and stab its tail upward. When you see it dive, look alive. Vaporfly. These flying fiends will dart at you with guns blazing, but they can only attack head-on. Turns out, shooting too straight is a weakness. They may be easy to dodge, but they're not easy to hit. Don't hold back with that magic. I remember you. You were from that one boss fight in the Caribbean. Sea Sprite. If you want to know these fickle fish's weakness, keep an eye on their color. Just remember this handy rhyme. If it's blue, thunder hits true. If it's red, blizzard instead. If it's yellow, something fire? Keep blasting them with their elemental weakness and they'll go belly up in no time. So, I really want to try to think of something for that last one. Yeah, I can't really think of anything. Yeah, I got nothing. I can't think of a rhyme. Spear lizard. Walking on land isn't their forte, so don't be surprised if they flounder about in the wrong direction. Those spears they carry find their targets well enough though. Be on the lookout for water magic, and if they start blowing bubbles your way, move! A direct hit will cause a sneezing fit. I honestly don't really know why they're saying that. Anchor Raider. This swashbuckler's anchor can hook onto thin air, turning it into a swinging pendulum of pain. Don't watch the anchor though. It's that extending chain and sharp anchor you need to be ready for. Instead of trying to keep up with it, try letting your magic do the chasing for you. That's actually kind of cool that he has an anchor for a hand. Although I can only imagine how much of an inconvenience that must... Well, actually no, because anchors help ships stay in place. So maybe like during a very, very rough storm out at sea, he can use the anchor to like prevent the waves from washing him away or something? I don't know. Tire Blade. One monster, two modes, all trouble. In their aerial form, they'll flit about on blade wings, slashing at you whenever they get the chance. In their ground form, they'll lob rockets your way. Watch the target on the ground. When it turns red, that's your cue to bail. Honestly, I think this one's really, really adorable. Like, this one is really cute. Just look at its face. That's like an evil whoa face. It's so cute. Like, how can you possibly take that seriously? Dark Side. A colossal Heartless that arose before Sora in a land of endless sea and sky. It looks different from other dark sides Sora has battled with, but the cause remains a mystery. Demon Tide. A dark swarm of shadows gathered into a massive, seething cloud. The fact that its foul ilk has been set not just in the realm of darkness, but in the realm of light is surely a harbinger of some coming evil. Yeah, this thing is very, very trippy to actually look at. But, if you rotate it to the side... God, that's just weird. That is so insanely trippy to look at. Demon Tower. A dark swarm of shadows stacked into a looming spire. The fact that its foul ilk has been set not just in the realm of darkness, but in the realm of light is surely a harbinger of some coming evil. Oh, shoot. No matter how you rotate it, it's honestly incredibly trippy. Like, wow. King of Toys. A colossal Heartless that young Xehanort summoned to stall Sora and his pals in Toy Box. This thing comes with everything. Annoying force field? Check. Hailstorm of missiles? Check. Ridiculously huge tornado that flings around all nearby toys in the area? Yep, that's a check. As toys go, not much fun. This thing I honestly find incredibly trippy just by looking at its face. And I don't mean the face in the middle of it. I mean look at the front. That looks like a pair of eyes. And the wiki actually describes it as a false face that distracts from its real one. Like, every time I look at this, it's just the creepiest thing. Oh, it has a tail. I did not know that. Grim Guardianess. Mother Gothel's fall to darkness gave rise to this gargantuan Heartless, and it's even crueler than she was, which is saying something. Wrapping its enormous body around the tower, it used branches and brambles to try and rob Sora, Donald, and Goofy of their freedom. Sounds like Mother Gothel, alright. Yeesh. I do remember this boss. It's like a cross between a snake and a tree. A trake. A snee? A stree? I don't know. Skull. A lupine heartless that rose from the darkness, consuming Hans's heart. Wolves hunt in packs, and this monstrosity was no exception. It summoned a horde of phantom packmates and transformed into a darkness so vast it blasted out the entire sky, or blotted out the entire sky. It's kind of hard to read some words from here, just from how small the words are. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. My mom called me so that I could let my cat into my room. Raging Vulture. Freshly escaped from Davy Jones's locker, Sora, Jack, and the others were all set to celebrate, until this oversized wet blanket on wings flapped in to ruin the moment. I suppose an epic air skirmish high above the Black Pearl was one way to mark the occasion. Yeah, I remember you. You were a tough guy to fight. Like, holy crap. Lightning Angler. A Piscine horror lurking beneath the crystal waves of the Caribbean. A glutton for the greedy, it lures prey in by posing as a treasure chest. An unusual adaptation, but it sure worked on Sora. Yeah, I remember that. He thought there was a treasure chest between two floating pieces of quote-unquote kelp, which turned out to be this thing's, antennae. It swallowed Sora, then spat him out when the Keyblade heard it from the inside. A very effective method, though. Dark Cubes. A shape-shifting swarm of nasty bots that terrorized the streets of San Fransokyo. If Hero hadn't pinpointed the location of the core unit controlling the rest, these baleful boxes might have spelled the end for Sora and Big Hero 6. Yep, definitely. Lich. This haunting horror held the hearts of Sora's friends hostage. Time and again, Sora fought it back, but with each hard-won victory, it would simply slough its form and depart to another world. Its broad arsenal of attacks made it a formidable foe to face alone, but in the end, no Heartless could match the strength of Sora's resolve. Catastrocorus. Catastrocorus. What's worse than a Heartless? Try 3 of them, fused into one weird body. Stomping feet and gnashing teeth, an active volcano spewing fire, plus a thundercloud tail raining lightning bolts left and right added up to one bad day in San Fransokyo. So yeah, we got the dinosaur head, we've got the volcano. And then we got the cute little guy in the tail back there. Cherry Flan. This regal flan is pure mischief, with 2 cherries on top. It was last seen touring Thebes and generally getting in the way of the efforts to rebuild. I remember this minigame. We had to use Goofy's sled as part, like the Trinity sled move, and we basically had to slide around, taking out a lot of cherry flans. Strawberry Flan. This regal flan is pure mischief. Now in strawberry. It was last seen failing to play well with others. Take its toys away and put it in timeout for good. Yeah, this was in Toy Box. I remember because we had to stack a lot of them up. Orange Flan. This regal flan is pure mischief, served with a refreshing citrus twist. It was last seen enjoying a lovely picnic in the woods. Take some pictures to help it mark the occasion. This was in the Kingdom of Corona, where you had to take some pictures of it doing something special for bonus points. Banana Flan. This regal flan is pure mischief and completely bananas besides. It was last seen door hopping through a certain world. Give it the perfect souvenir. A Keyblade right to the jiggle. Yeah, I remember you. I think I had to survive. I think I had to avoid this thing hitting me for a certain amount of time. Look at it though. It's so cute. Honestly, these guys are so adorable, I would want to hug one. Not even gonna lie. Just look at how adorable they are. So adorable and squishy and jiggly and oh so delicious. But that doesn't mean I would want to eat it. However, Grape Flan. This regal flan is pure mischief, and the grapes adorning it are probably sour. It was last seen playing in the snow, but it's cold out, so just hurry up and defeat it. I think I remember this one. I think I had to defeat a certain amount of them in a certain amount of time. Honeydew Flan. This regal flan is pure mischief. The melon on its crown? Also evil. It was last seen atop a skyscraper enjoying the nighttime view. You never really appreciate how springy these things are until you stomp on one. Yeah, when I said, whether I said speaking of or about that earlier, about how I would never eat it, this one, I remember in this I remember its minigame was you had to basically bounce around on different flans and not miss to get a lot of points. And I remember if you tried bouncing on the same one twice, you would fall into its mouth and it would eat you. Yep, this flan would try to eat you if you fell on the same one again. Watermelon Flan. This regal flan is pure mischief, even if the watermelon on its crown does look delicious. What nefarious scheme is hatching in the fortress? Does it really matter? You've got some cannons. Fire away! Yeah, for this one I had to fire some cannons at a bunch of them in a minigame, and I had to fire at a certain amount before they reached the fort. That was in the Pirates of the Caribbean world. Dark Inferno X. The darkness that erupted out of Vincent's heart and turned into an aggressive Heartless, but the voice that was heard at the time intimated that it was darkness itself. What did it mean? Oh, and that's all the Heartless. Alright, now we can move on to the Nobodies. Dusk. Phantasmagorial frights that morph and stretch as they fight. Stay locked on and all the fancy footwork in the world won't save them. As tough as they are to predict, there are moments when they just sort of stand there. And when they space, Keyblade to the face. Sniper. Gravity's got nothing on these slippery sharpshooters, and as soon as you close the distance, they'll warp right out of there. The good news, blocking will send the arrows they fire right straight back at them. In bigger brawls, you'll want to make them a priority. A little magic goes a long way towards pinning them down until you can land some hits. Reaper. That scythe isn't your only worry. These floral fiends have a punishing pedal attack as well, and a trio of Reapers can team up to bloom bomb a much broader area. Their flower bud form may be immune to normal attacks, but as a rule, plants don't fare well against magical flames. Okay, I want to pause here to take a moment to say that the idle animations for Nobodies they are just so mesmerizing to look at. Because I'm just looking at this one, and I just cannot stop watching it twirl its little pedally body. Like, I don't know what it is, but the fact that these boneless baddies can shift and squiggle and squirm and shape themselves and size themselves to different forms, it is just absolutely hypnotic to look at. I will admit, it's just, the idle animations are just so absolutely beautiful. Like, I sometimes I honestly cannot look away, which would probably make it easier for them to hit me. Ninja, lightning quick martial arts, razor sharp kunai, phantom clones. Oh yeah, that's a ninja. Those clones do look mighty convincing, but a fake's a fake. Stay cool, watch closely, and spot the real deal. Then give him the chop. Wow, this guy's... he definitely looks ready to kick ass. Gambler. It's all fun and games until somebody gets mauled by a giant playing card. Can you imagine the paper cuts from those things? When a hand of them starts circling you, watch for a flash. That's your cue to dodge. Not interested in playing dice? Try playing baseball. Batter up. Oh yeah, I remember you from friggin' Kingdom Hearts 2. This thing is... I think what really tricked me out is, I think in Kingdom Hearts 2, the animation made it look like the cards like grew and shrank as it went back into its sleeves. And now the dice are doing that. I would like to point out though that the dice on it, look at the little symbols on the dice. It has little slashy looking symbols on it. Nice detail. Berserker. Is the nobody swinging the hammer, or the hammer swinging the nobody? Reading its attacks can be tricky, but each blow hits like a truck, so steer clear of that hammer unless you're interested in air travel. Oh, and if you see its body shrink and its hammer grow, a combo's coming your way. Think fast. Yeah, these things are no joke to deal with. They are absolutely painful when they land the hits on you. Thankfully, they're not that big a deal since I'm level 99. Sorcerer. I've only ever defeated one? Huh. Magic and elemental attacks won't work well against these confounding casters. Know what will? Keyblade to the face. Watch out when the cubes I've conjured change color. That means pain is incoming. But then, when are ethereal objects glowing red a good sign? Fair. Alright, so that was all the nobodies. Let's go to the Unversed. Flood. The Unversed equivalent of a shadow. Agile, but otherwise unimpressive. It definitely looks fast. Flower Snake. These pests cling to poles and pipes, where they pump out poison that sticks around for a while. Watch your step. One blast of the supersonic scream they emit while crawling along the floor and you'll be stunned. Bring the hurt before it can bring the noise. Spiked Turtle Toad. When it gets puffed up, you get roughed up. Watch out for that flying press once its belly fills with air. The shell on its back is Keyblade proof, so you'll have to find softer places to smack. Hang on. There we go. It can swallow nearby flower snakes, then sprout them as toxic turrets. And if it swallows you, don't let it swallow you. They're not kidding either. Spiked turtle toads will try to inhale you. Turtle toad. Unlike their larger cousins, these little guys have soft shells that are very much not Keyblade proof. They can't swallow you up. They can't swallow you up either, which is always a plus. Just don't think that makes them harmless. These rotten riveters still pack a punch. Lump of Horror. A hideous, gloopy giant that mucked about in Monsters Incorporated. The fact that it listened to Arendelle is enough to tell you it wasn't very nice. It shapeshifted and sprouted a dark army of arms from the ground, but in the end, Sora and the gang reduced it to a lifeless pile of machinery. Just look at this thing. It's definitely not someone you want to cuddle with. Also, I'm noticing something in its mouth. I don't know what that is. Now you might notice that it's telling you I can switch modes. Earlier I mentioned that essentially some enemies let you switch modes to switch models to look at them. This was in its secondary form. Looks like a giant bat. Although, notice how the Unversed symbol goes from the part of the machinery to its forehead. Nice touch. That's all of them. And then we have others. Gigas, Power Class. One of Galaxy Toy's coolest products. Unfortunately, this one's being piloted by a toy trooper with a taste for terror. This model boasts a sturdy hull and brutal close-quarter attacks. Keep your distance and avoid that shoulder tackle at all costs. Gigas, Speed Class. One of Galaxy Toy's coolest products. Unfortunately, this one's being piloted by a toy trooper with a penchant for peril. This model's speed and agility are its greatest weapons. Well, that and the mega cluster of explosives it fires from its shoulder cannons. Gigas, Gunner Class. One of Galaxy Toy's coolest products. Unfortunately, this one's being piloted by a toy trooper that's keen on chaos. This long-range model's a bit of a glass cannon, so get up in its face and smash it to bits. The energy rounds it fires from its shoulder cannons are blazingly fast, so get out of the way as soon as it starts to take aim. Beasts and Bugs. An unlucky denizen of Galaxy Toys that was possessed by a marionette. Expect these quick critters to zip out of range and let their cannons fly. That's about the only thing they can do, actually. Patchwork Animals. An unlucky denizen of Galaxy Toys that was possessed by a marionette. These simple-minded plushies only know one trick. Charge! Use magic to trip them up, then give them some new stitches. So we have an adorable little panda, and paws jiggle when you move it around. An adorable little lion. Air Droids. An unlucky denizen of Galaxy Toys that was possessed by a marionette. When these nuisances aren't blasting you with their arm cannons, they're blasting you with gale force winds. The good news? They can't do both at the same time. When they switch on that fan, use magic to blow them away. Bouncy Pet. Wait, switch models. Oh. There's like 2 different variants. 3 different variants. One, 2, 3 different variants. Bouncy Pets. An unlucky denizen of Galaxy Toys that was possessed by a marionette. These bouncy baddies rarely sit still for long. Use those brief pauses to take the spring out of their step. We have a dog. We have a frog. We have a cow. We have an elephant. Honestly, that's kind of terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. We have a piggy. Had to let my cat in. And then we have a little kitty. Funny because I just had to let my kitty in. Supreme Smasher. An unlucky denizen of Galaxy Toys that was possessed by a marionette. This massive menace gave Sora and his friends a run for their money, but in the end, no deadly claws or terrible tower turrets were a match for the mighty Rex. Yes, that Rex. Angelic Amber. An unlucky denizen of Galaxy Toys that was possessed by a marionette. Unpredictable and erratic, her moves made her a maddening foe to face. After Sora and his team freed her from the marionette's ill influence, she bore a melancholy expression. Alright, and that was all of the adversaries. So, very good that we've managed to show all that off. So now we can move on to the character files. Main characters. Sora. A boy who wields a Keyblade. Having surmounted countless challenges, he was at least given a chance to complete the Mark of Mastery examination, but the attempt ended in failure. He was overtaken by the darkness and lost nearly all of his powers and strength in the process. Together with Donald and Goofy, he has set forth on a new adventure to reclaim that lost strength and acquire the power of waking in order to prepare for the looming battle with Master Xehanort. So I realized something. In the DLC, actually no, I forgot, this is gonna come before the finale of that. I won't say any further. I won't say anything more. It is nice that they actually show all of the different Sora models. This was from Kingdom Hearts 1. Look at how much our boy has grown. Look at how much taller he is. He's grown. And then I think this was from Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Or it's just Kingdom Hearts 2. And possibly other games, but I don't know. So, this was Sora from Kingdom Hearts 1, and look at how much younger he was. And now he's all grown up. Donald Duck, the wise little hen, 1934. King Mickey's court magician and a loyal friend. Donald has journeyed with Sora many times to keep the world safe. He is pledged to help Sora through the trials ahead. Goofy, 2 weeks vacation, 1952. The captain of King Mickey's Royal Knights and also a good friend. Goofy has stuck by Sora's side through more than one adventure. He is pledged to help Sora through the trials ahead. Jiminy Cricket, Pinocchio, 1940. Hello, worlds. Cricket's the name. Jiminy Cricket. I'll be tagging along with Sora and the others, chronicling every moment of our grand adventure. It's good to be back. King Mickey, Steamboat Willie, 1928. The king of Disney Castle and one of the true Keyblade masters. He was among the first to notice something amiss in the worlds and take action. In order to gather the remaining Guardians of Light needed to confront Master Xehanort, King Mickey and Riku have gone searching for the lost Keyblade wielders who vanished over 10 years ago. That being Terra, Ventus, and Aqua. Riku, a true Keyblade master and childhood friend of Sora and Kairi. Though he struggled with the darkness in the past, he learned to control his heart and successfully earned the Mark of Mastery. In order to gather the remaining Guardians of Light needed to confront Master Xehanort, Riku and King Mickey have gone searching for the lost Keyblade wielders who vanished over 10 years ago. Kairi, Sora and Riku's childhood friend. As one of the 7 Princesses of Heart, she became a target of the forces of darkness, but thankfully Sora and Riku came to the rescue. She now trains with Lee as a Keyblade master herself to prepare for the final battle ahead. Aqua, one of 3 Keyblade wielders who trained under Master Ericus. Following the battle over the Keyblade more than a decade ago, she braved the realm of darkness to save a friend, and was trapped inside alone. After losing her Keyblade, she was unable to fight back the forces of the dark and was cast into the abyss below. Ventus, one of 3 Keyblade wielders who trained under Master Ericus. His heart fell into slumber at the end of the battle over the Keyblade more than a decade ago. Since then, Aqua has kept his body hidden in the Chamber of Waking. Ventus's deep connection with Aqua was what ultimately woke him from his sleep within Sora's heart. Terra, one of 3 Keyblade wielders who trained under Master Ericus. He nearly succumbed to the darkness at the end of the battle over the Keyblade more than a decade ago, but Aqua saved him. Or so it seemed. In truth, a different heart had taken hold of his body. Terra's deep connection with Aqua and Ventus broke the dark shackles that held him, and he returned as a guardian of light. Axel or Lee, a Keyblade wielder who was once a nobody and member of Organization 13, at which time he went by the name Axel. After regaining his humanity, Lee joined forces with Sora and the other Guardians of Light. Through difficult training, he learned to summon and wield a Keyblade. Roxas, Sora's nobody and the 13th member of the previous Organization 13. He was a Keyblade wielder and Axel's closest friend. After rejoining with Sora's heart, Roxas ceased to exist. Thanks to a replica that was able to contain his heart and memories, Roxas became real again and joined the Guardians of Light. Xion, the former Organization 13's mysterious 14th member. She was an experimental replica used to siphon Sora's memories out of Roxas, and this allowed her to become a Keyblade wielder. Xion grew to question the meaning of her own existence and ultimately elected to return her memories to Sora and disappear. Master Xehanort was using Xion to fill a spot in his new Organization 13, but when she was confronted by her best friends Axel and Roxas, her memories came back to her and she chose to become a Guardian of Light. Naminé, Kairi's nobody. The previous Organization 13 used Naminé's unique powers to manipulate Sora's memories, but Sora freed her from their clutches. She ceased to exist after rejoining with Kairi's heart. Riku Replica, an experimental replica created by the former Organization 13 using combat data taken from Riku. He dueled the real Riku to prove his right to exist, but lost and was destroyed. Riku Replica's heart wandered the realm of darkness, eventually taking refuge alongside Riku's heart after the two were reunited. Master Xehanort, the most powerful Keyblade master of them all. Master Xehanort's pursuit of the world's true nature and the obsession with the Keyblade War led him to give his heart over to darkness. He tried to forge the Keyblade and trigger another Keyblade War, but 3 young Keyblade wielders put a stop to him. Now, he has created a new organization, the Real Organization 13, and intends to divide his heart among its other 12 members to create 13 darknesses. That is some kick-ass armor. Oh. Young Xehanort, a member of the Real Organization 13. This is Master Xehanort's younger self. He has traveled forward through time more than once in order to guide Sora. So, this is Xehanort now, and this is Xehanort then. He lost his hair. Terra Xehanort, a member of the Real Organization 13. This is the Master Xehanort that took control of Terra's body. Ansem, a member of the Real Organization 13. This is Xehanort's Heartless. He was able to regain his original appearance by possessing Riku. In the past, Ansem attempted to open the door to Kingdom Hearts, but was destroyed by Sora and his friends before he could succeed. Despite this, Ansem has returned. Xemnas, a member of the Real Organization 13. This is Xehanort's nobody. In the past, he tried to create an artificial Kingdom Hearts from the hearts of people, but Sora and Riku put an end to his plans and Xemnas himself. Despite this, Xemnas has returned. Vanitas, a member of the Real Organization 13. This is the pure darkness that Master Xehanort extracted from Ventus's heart. He was pitted against Ventus in order to forge the Keyblade, but Ventus prevailed and Vanitas ceased to exist. Now that he is back, he continues to seek his brother, Ventus. Was there any other forms around here? Nope. Oh. I apologize if you hear any clicking. That's just my PS4. Xigbar, a member of the Real Organization 13. Despite his defeat at Sora's hands, Xigbar has returned and continues his attempts to manipulate and mislead Sora. Vexen, or Evan, a reserve member of the Real Organization 13. Despite being recompleted as a human, Vexen returned to the organization willingly in order to pursue his research, which he values above all else. Saïx, a member of the Real Organization 13. He and Axel were good friends in the old days, before they first became Nobodies. Despite his destruction at Sora's hands, Saïx has returned. Demyx, a reserve member of the Real Organization 13. Despite his destruction at Sora's hands, Demyx has returned. He spends most of his time tuning his sitar, and his demeanor makes it extremely difficult to believe he's part of anything untoward. Luxord, a member of the Real Organization 13. He is a lover of games, and sometimes even prioritizes them over his organization duties. Despite his destruction at Sora's hands, Luxord has returned. Marluxia, despite his destruction at Sora's hands, Marluxia has returned to keep tabs on the new 7 Hearts, whom the organization may need should their original plan go awry. Larxene, a member of the Real Organization 13. Despite her destruction at Sora's hands, Larxene has returned to keep tabs on the new 7 Heart. Oh, that's the same thing. Dark Riku, a member of the Real Organization 13. He looks exactly like Riku, except a year younger, and he wears the organization's black coat. So there's Riku, Dark Riku, and Dark Riku Replica. Got it. Anti-Aqua. Aqua, after she fell to darkness. Years and years of wandering through the realm of darkness ended with her being cast into the watery depths beyond its margin. Ansem the Wise, the Sage King who once ruled over Radiant Garden. After his apprentices stole his research into the heart, he assumed a new name, Diz, or Darkness in Zero. Consumed by vengeance, he ruined more lives than one. In time, he saw the error of his ways, but in a last-ditch attempt to thwart the old organization's plans, he was obliterated from the realm of light. Ienzo, the human form of Zexion, one of Organization 13's Nobodies. Before joining the organization, he was one of Ansem the Wise's apprentices and researched the mysteries of the heart. He is now hard at work deciphering Ansem's code. Dylan, the human form of Zaldin, one of Organization 13's Nobodies. Before joining the organization, he was one of Ansem the Wise's apprentices and guarded the castle together with Alias. Alias, the human form of Lexaeus, one of Organization 13's Nobodies. Before joining the organization, he was one of Ansem the Wise's apprentices and guarded the castle together with Dylan. Lingering Will, a suit of armor imbued with Terra's thoughts and wishes. Master Ericus, the true Keyblade master who mentored Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. He was struck down by his own brother in training, Master Xehanort, in the clash over a decade ago. The Boy in White. He and his best friend would often match wits playing chess between training sessions. Now, if it wasn't clear, the Boy in White is actually Master Ericus, but when he was younger. The Boy in Black. He and his best friend would often match wits playing chess between training sessions. So, this was Master Ericus when he was younger, and this is Master Xehanort when he was younger. Hirthi, a curious creature that begrudgingly offered Sora its assistance in the final world. A mysterious boy who reached out to Sora's heart in a moment of crisis. Hold on a minute. Am I the only one who thinks this looks like someone either out of Verum Rex or The World Ends With You? I feel that's what's happening here. Alright, and that's all of them. That's all the main characters. Everyone else. Yen Sid, the Sorcerer's Apprentice, 1940. A great sorcerer who watches over the balance between light and darkness. He was also King Mickey's teacher. In the past, he too served on as a true Keyblade master, but these days he chooses to mentor Keyblade wielders from his tower. As the final battle with Xehanort looms ahead, Master Yen Sid has been leading the effort to gather the 7 Guardians of Light we need. Chip, Private Pluto, 1943. One of Disney Castle's engineers. Serious and professional, his skills with machinery are top class. He invented the Gummy Ship and Gummy Phone together with his younger brother Dale. Dale, Private Pluto, 1943. One of Disney Castle's engineers, despite his laid-back personality, his skills with machinery are top class. He invented the Gummy Ship and Gummy Phone together with his older brother Chip. Maleficent, Sleeping Beauty, 1959. An evil fairy who seeks to rule over all worlds. She and Pete are searching for a black box. Pete, Steamboat Willie, 1928. Maleficent's henchman. The two of them are searching for a black box. Queen Minnie, Steamboat Willie, 1928. Queen of Disney Castle who reigns over the kingdom while King Mickey is away. Daisy Duck. Don Donald, 1937. Donald's girlfriend. She is assisting Queen Minnie with royal affairs until the king returns. Pluto, the Chain Gang, 1930. King Mickey's trusty dog. Moogles, strange creatures that pop up in even stranger places to open shop. In truth, the shops are run by holographic projections while the real Moogles remain elsewhere. Wreck-It Ralph in 2012. A friend that answered Sword's call through the power of the Heartbinder. Honestly, one of my favorite movies. Simba, the Lion King. Oh my god, that is amazing. Simba, the Lion King. A friend that answered Sora's call through the power of the Heartbinder. Look at that. That is just incredible. That's just... I can only imagine being a Heartless, Unversed, or Nobody. This is one fiery feline whom you don't want him to get his paws on you, or he'll bring the pain. Wow. Even his paws are like producing little sparks, or little embers. That is just so cool. Like, goddamn. Stitch, Lilo and Stitch, 2002. A friend that answers Sword's call through the power of the Heartbinder. Oh, I get it! They look like this because they're representing the element that they're based on. Simba is based on fire. Stitch is based on electricity. And I'm willing to bet Ariel's gonna be made of water. Yep. Ariel, The Little Mermaid, 1989. A friend that answers Sword's call through the power of the Heartbinder. Alright, and that's all the everyone else. Olympus. Hercules, 1997. A hero with a kind heart and tremendous strength. He was born of a god, but lived down on Earth as a mortal. We know Herc very well from the adventures we've shared together. Indeed we do. Megara, Hercules, 1997. A woman dear to Hercules' heart. In the past, Hades blackmailed her into doing his bidding, but meeting Hercules put an end to that dark chapter of her life. Philoctetes, Hercules 1997, a renowned trainer of heroes who has whipped countless hopefuls into shape, including Hercules. Pegasus, Hercules 1997, a flying horse and Hercules' trusty partner. He was a gift from Herc's father Zeus. Zeus, Hercules 1997. I think you guys can all tell this is all from Hercules. Hercules' father and king of the gods of Olympus. Hermes, one of the gods of Olympus. Apollo, one of the gods of Olympus. Athena, one of the goddesses of Olympus. I think this was like a goddess of love or something. Oh, she has a cute little bird. That's probably a Greek reference to something that I don't get. Hades, god of the underworld. Undaunted by all the losses he suffered at Hercules' hands, he revived the Titans and tried to use them to overthrow Zeus and claim Olympus as his own. Rock Titan, a gargantuan being made of solid stone. I remember fighting you. You were fun. Ice Titan, a gargantuan being made of frigid ice. Lava Titan, a gargantuan being made of molten lava. I actually love that they brought back like pretty much all the Titans they could possibly think of. Look at this goopy gargantuan. Tornado Titan, our gargantuan being made of violent winds. That's all of them for Olympus. Twilight Town. Hayner, an unruly boy who lives in Twilight Town. He hangs out with Pence and Olette and feels an uncanny bond with Roxas. We know Hayner from our past adventures. Pence, a boy who lives in Twilight Town and has a knack for technology. He hangs out with Hayner and Olette and feels an uncanny bond with Roxas. We know Pence from our past adventures. And Olette, a mature girl who lives in Twilight Town. She hangs out with Hayner and Pence and feels an uncanny bond with Roxas. We know Olette from our past adventures. Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck in Money, 1967. A jet-setting tycoon and uncle to Donald. He recently entered the restaurant business in a joint venture with Little Chef. Little Chef, Ratatouille 2007. The chef of a well-reviewed restaurant. After meeting Scrooge, he was encouraged to come to Twilight Town and open a bistro where he's been using ingredients from other worlds to further his culinary talents. Ah, yes, I remember. I remember when I first met. I remember the episode where we first met Little Chef, and my microphone was off the entire time. Fun times. Huey, Donald's nephews, 1938. One of Donald's triplet nephews, known for his trademark red cap. He runs a gummy ship block together with his brothers. Dewey, one of Donald's triplet nephews, known for his trademark blue cap. He runs a gummy block shop together with his brothers. Louie, one of Donald's triplet nephews, known for his trademark green cap. He runs a gummy block shop together with his brothers. Merlin, the Sword in the Stone, 1963. A great wizard able to manipulate time itself. He used his magic to furnish Kyrie and Lee with a special training ground so they wouldn't need to rush their study of the Keyblade. Merlin's capricious nature means that he rarely stays in the same time or place for long. Hayner. Oh, okay. That's all in Twilight Town. Oh. Okay, basically the same thing, except this is the guise Sora assumes when visiting Woody and Buzz's world. This is the guise Donald assumes when visiting Woody and Buzz's world. Alright. This is the guide Goofy assumes when visiting Woody and Buzz's world. Woody, Toy Story 1995. Wait, did it say anything else here? Oh, I guess not. Woody, Toy Story 1995. Andy's treasured toy cowboy and the de facto leader of the other toys. He took the initiative in getting to the bottom of their strange new circumstances. Buzz, Toy Story, 1995. A newer addition to Andy's toy lineup. An action figure who at one point believed he was a real, actual space ranger. Buzz reluctantly agreed to leave Andy's house and investigate Galaxy toys. Rex. Andy's toy Tyrannosaurus. His fierce appearance bellies a meek and anxious nature. Rex is an avid video game fan, and his current character obsession is Yozora. Ham. Andy's piggy bank. His belly, full of loose change, tends to slow him down when the call to action comes. Unlike Rex, he's more of a Gigas fan, I guess. Little Green Men. An identical trio that reprises from the Pizza Planet Crane game. They tend to stick together. The Claw. You saved our lives. We are eternally grateful. Little green green army men. An army in a bucket equipped with an array of gear that enables them to perform a broad range of missions. Kingdom of Corona. Rapunzel. A girl with a lot of hair and a lot of heart. She set foot outside her tower for the first time in her life to go see the lights in the sky that she had watched from her window since childhood. Oh, that's cute. And then that's her without her hair. Flynn Rider. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought they misspelled his last name. A young man who shut up with the Heartless hot on his heels. It seems they aren't the only ones he was running from. He discovered Rapunzel's tower while on the run and felt compelled to climb it. After meeting the girl inside, he agreed to serve as her guide. Flynn, as it turns out, isn't his real name. He took the alias from The Tales of Flanagan Rider, a book of stories about a swashbuckling rogue. Meeting Rapunzel prompted a change of heart, however, and he now goes by his real name, Eugene Fitzherbert. Pascal, a chameleon who Tangled, 2010. I think I forgot to read that. A chameleon who has been a good friend to Rapunzel. Pascal was the only one she really felt she could talk to while she was growing up inside the tower. Maximus, the proud white steed belonging to the captain of the royal guards. Maximus was chasing after Flynn, but begrudgingly agreed to work with him at Rapunzel's request. Mother Gothel. Rapunzel's mother. She left the tower to look for her missing daughter. However, we came to learn this was all a lie. Mother Gothel was the one who took Rapunzel from her real parents, for no reason other than to exploit the mysterious healing powers in the girl's hair. Ugh. Okay. They show us what she looks like when she's old. Wow, that's just, wow. Alright, Monstropolis. This is the guide Sora assumes when visiting Sully and Mike's world. This is the guide Donald assumes when visiting Sully and Mike's world. This is the guide Goofy assumes when visiting Sully and Mike's world. I like how for the detail, they actually made one eye small and one eye big, and both eyes different colors. Sully, Monsters Inc. 2001. The CEO of Monsters Incorporated. He has become fast friends with a little human girl named Boo. Mike, an employee at Monsters Incorporated and Sully's best buddy since college. He cares for Boo like one of his own. Boo, a brave little human girl with boundless curiosity. She enjoys playing with Mike and Sully on her occasional visits to Monsters Incorporated. Arendelle, a former scarer at Monsters Incorporated. Getting banished from the company didn't put an end to his scheming, and he came back more determined than ever to get revenge on Sully and Mike. CDA agent. A member of an agency originally established to ensure no contaminants from human children accidentally cross over. The CDA sprang into action to aid Monsters Incorporated in a time of crisis. I don't actually know what CDA even stands for. Contamination something agency? I don't know. I'm pretty sure the C stands for contamination. Alright, Arendelle, Elsa. Frozen 2013. Arendelle's queen and a wielder of powerful ice magic unlike any we've seen. We saw her leave her old home behind and run up the North Mountain. Anna's older sister. A quarrel with Anna on her coronation day resulted in Elsa unleashing the ice magic she'd been keeping hidden, and Elsa fled the castle. So this is her before she embraced the magic. This is her when she's very, very young. And this is her when she's living in her ice palace. Anna, Elsa's younger sister. A random encounter brought her and Kristoff together, and together they pledged to end the unnatural winter plaguing Arendelle. Look at how adorable and small she is. Olaf, a walking, talking snowman brought to life by Elsa's magic. After meeting Anna, Kristoff, and the rest of us, Olaf led us to the Ice Palace. Kristoff, a young iceman who was never apart from his reindeer friend Sven. A random encounter brought him and Anna together, and together they pledged to end the unnatural winter plaguing Arendelle. Sven, Kristoff's reindeer friend. To say he loves carrots would be an understatement. Wait, is there like... okay, no, there's no other models for Kristoff. Marshmallow, a fearsome sentinel that protects Elsa. He was created by her magic. This is him outside rage mode. This is him in rage mode. Doesn't he just look so cuddly? This is one guy you definitely don't want to piss off. Hans, a young man we saw taking Elsa away from the Ice Palace. Darkness seemed to have a hold on him. And that's everything for Arendelle. Now to the Caribbean. This is the guy Sora assumed when visiting Jack's world. This is the guy Donald assumed when visiting Jack's world. This is the guys Goofy assumed when visiting Jack's world. Man, I do want to say the amount of detail they put in all of these character models is absolutely astounding. I could be wrong, but I think Goofy's eye color like slightly changed to kind of match the theme. I don't know, but I think his gloves changed color too. Jack Sparrow, Pirates Curse of the Black Pearl, 2003. A legendary pirate and captain of the Black Pearl, we know Jack well from our past adventures. After we parted ways, Jack was devoured by the Kraken and went to Davy Jones's locker, where our paths crossed again. Will Turner. Wait. Oh. A young man from Port Royal and a friend of Jack's. We know Will from our past adventures. We were reunited with Will as he and the others came to rescue Jack from Davy Jones's locker. Will is a good guy. Will is an amazing friend. Will is someone everyone can trust. Elizabeth Swan, daughter to the governor of Port Royal and a friend of Jack's. We know Elizabeth from our past adventures. We were reunited with Elizabeth as she and the others came to rescue Jack from Davy Jones's locker. Hector Barbosa, a pirate captain who was cursed never to die and once caused us plenty of trouble. He was freed of the curse's bonds and made mortal again just in time to be run through by Jack. However, Tia Dalma revived him, and she and the others came to rescue Jack from Davy Jones's locker. Man. Oh. Tia Dalma. Pirates, Dead Man's Chest, 2006. I'm just gonna go with beguiling. A beguiling woman Will and the others turn to in order to extricate Jack from the Davy Jones's locker. Tia Dalma and Jack seem to already know each other. Joshua Gibbs. Wait, I think I already read the Dead Man's Chest thing. A member of the Black Pearl's crew, he and Jack get along swimmingly, and one is rarely more than a stone's throw away from the other. We met Gibbs as he and the others came to rescue Jack from Davy Jones's locker. Cutler Beckett, governor of the East India Trading Company, he took to the sea in order to eradicate all pirates and claim control of the waters for himself. Why is it that the most evil people always look the most harmless? Like, you'd think this guy would just be some kind of... You'd think, just by the looks of this guy, he wouldn't look all that evil. But wanting to eradicate all pirates, that's... Wow. I guess you never really should judge a book by its cover. Davy Jones, captain of the Flying Dutchman. When Jack violated their agreement, Jones sent the Kraken after him. San Fransokyo. This is Sora wearing the AR device he received in San Fransokyo. Sorry, I was messaging someone. God damn it. Was I holding down the wrong button? Hiro Hamada, Big Hero 6, 2014. A boy genius living in San Fransokyo and a member of Big Hero 6. After Hiro presented the microbots he invented, events took a turn for the tragic and he lost his brother Tadashi. Together with Tadashi's friends and his brother's robot, Baymax, Hiro got to the bottom of that incident, and now the team continues to keep the peace as Big Hero 6. Baymax, a member of Big Hero 6. He was originally a healthcare robot developed by Hiro's older brother, Tadashi, but with the addition of combat data and an armored suit, Hiro upgraded him to Baymax 2.0. And this right here is Baymax 2.0, the most fucking adorable thing ever in existence. And this is just old regular Baymax. Oh, he has like little spots on him. Was that... I don't think that was in the movie. Is this... Wait. I don't remember that being in the movie, but it's a nice touch. Although I would like to point out, he does look a bit taller. He does look a bit taller when he's in the suit. And a lot stronger. Gogo Tamago. Tadashi's college friend and a member of Big Hero 6. Gogo's suit functionally centers around a unique electromagnetic suspension system. Which is so cool. Honey Lemon. Tadashi's college friend and a member of Big Hero 6. Honey Lemon's special purse allows her to quickly create chem balls containing a variety of unique chemical compounds. Wasabi. Tadashi's college friend and a member of Big Hero 6. Wasabi's suit gives him access to laser-induced plasma blades. Fred. Tadashi's college friend and a member of Big Hero 6. While not technically a student, Fred is a familiar face around campus. His suit is a kaiju costume heavily influenced by his personal tastes. Wait, no, hang on. I want to see how he looks. Oh, yeah. Dark Baymax, the original Baymax. He was retrieved from another dimension in a mantle of dark cubes. His program chip loaded with data from the hearts of people the dark cubes attacked. Oh, that was like a comma. He was retrieved from another dimension in a mantle of dark cubes. His program chip loaded with data from the hearts of the people the dark cubes attacked. This was actually a very, very cool battle, and honestly, kinda terrifying. So I guess that other Baymax model we saw was a 2.0 with little extra patterns so we could recognize which Baymax was which. Yeah, this guy was terrifying. The 100-Acre Wood. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, 1966. A friendly bear who lives inside a great big tree in the 100-Acre Wood. He loves to eat, especially if there's honey to be had. Piglet. Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. Pooh's dearest friend in the 100-Acre Wood. Piglet is timid and startled by just about anything. Rabbit. Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, 1966. A devoted farmer who lives in the 100-Acre Wood. Pooh frequently drops by to eat all his honey, much to Rabbit's annoyance. Tigger. Okay, that's from the Blustery Day. An energetic personality who lives in the 100-Acre Wood. He loves to bounce, and has a tendency to get carried away and cause trouble for others, but he means no harm. Roo. Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree. Kanga's son. He loves Tigger, and the two spend lots of time practicing their bouncing together. Roo was the first in the 100-Acre Wood to befriend Lumpy. Pooh's Heffalump movie. Lumpy. A young Heffalump who lives near the edge of the 100-Acre Wood. After he met Roo and the two became good friends, Lumpy comes by to visit and play all the time. I do find it adorable that they find ways to like turn words into like funny sounding words, like instead of elephant, it's Heffalump. Gopher. Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree. A hard worker who lives in the 100-Acre Wood. He's an expert digger and can usually be found either burrowing a hole or falling into one. And then we have Re+Mind. Do I want to look at it? Now what the heck? Xehanort. During a training journey in preparation for his Mark of Mastery exam, a certain Keyblade wielder was given a coat that wards off darkness from a mysterious figure. Wait, hold on. Something just clicked. Something definitely just clicked. So, I'm pretty sure, like, somewhere in the first 3 episodes of Re+Mind, I think it was like in the first episode, so this was Xehanort that mysterious robed figure was talking to. So that was like a flashback to when he was working to prepare for the Mark of Mastery exam. Oh! A mysterious figure shrouded in a hooded black coat. Aside from his claim that he is one of the Lost Masters, not much else is known about him. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, that was all of the character files. So now, let's work with the story. Actually, hang on. Let's go for the glossary first, actually. Keyblades. Weapons fashioned in ancient times in the image of the Keyblade in order to fight back the darkness and maintain order in the world. Keyblades can only be wielded by chosen individuals who are strong of heart. Shaped like keys, they operate any lock in existence and are imbued with magic and other unique capabilities. Keyblade wielders may bequeath their powers to the next generation upon meeting worthy individuals. Keyblade Masters. A title reserved for the select few who have proven their knowledge and skill with the Keyblade is sufficient to protect the order of the world. Wait, a title reserved for the select few who have proven their knowledge and skill with the Keyblade is sufficient to protect the order of the world. In the past, Masters Ericus and Xehanort achieved this rank, as did Yen Sid. In recent times, Aqua, King Mickey, and Riku have become masters as well. The Keyblade War. An epic clash in the distant past, when the forces of light and dark fought for control of Kingdom Hearts, the collective hearts of every world, and the Keyblade that serves as its key. The battleground upon which the war was fought is now known as the Keyblade Graveyard, a barren place where the Keyblades jut from the ground like tombstones. Master Xehanort seeks to recreate the Keyblade War in order to forge the Keyblade, unlock Kingdom Hearts, and learn what mysteries await in the world beyond. The Keyblade, an implement created as a counterpart to Kingdom Hearts, and the only key that can open it. All other Keyblades are believed to have been created in its image. The Keyblade was destroyed during a great battle in the past. It will be reforged when 7 hearts of pure light clash with 13 pure darknesses. In the past, Master Xehanort divided the darkness and light in Ventus's heart and pitted them against one another, artificially creating a Keyblade, but his experiment failed and the incomplete blade was destroyed. Heartless, foot soldiers in the forces of darkness. They can appear in any world and attack those living there in order to steal their hearts. The Heartless are formed when a person's heart is separated from their body and the darkness in the heart takes physical shape. They act autonomously, and their attacks are able to corrupt even those with hearts of light, giving rise to new Heartless in turn. A Keyblade can free these stolen hearts from the darkness, and so Sora travels the world, actively seeking out Heartless to defeat. Heartless can be roughly divided into 2 categories: Pure Bloods, the original strain, and Emblem Heartless, which were artificially created. Nobodies, embodiments of emptiness that serve the darkness. Nobodies arise alongside Heartless when the empty body left behind becomes its own autonomous creature. Nobodies who possess exceptionally strong hearts in life may retain their original appearance, as did all of the previous Organization 13's members. Not everyone fares so well, however. Most bodies cease to exist the moment their hearts are lost. As a result, Nobodies are fewer in numbers than their heartless counterparts. Unversed, creatures aligned with the darkness. They arise from powerful negative emotions, and when defeated, they return to the source of pure darkness from which they come, Vanitas. The Unversed presence in location is clear evidence that Vanitas is somehow involved. So long as their master continues to exist, they will spawn endlessly. Dream Eaters, creatures native to the sleeping worlds that feed on dreams. 2 types exist: nightmares that eat good dreams and plant bad ones in their stead, and spirits that eat only bad dreams. The spirits have fought alongside Sora and Riku in past battles. In the age of fairy tales, spirits called the Kirithi once provided assistance to Keyblade wielders. Organization 13, a group of 13 powerful nobodies who retain their human appearance, led by Xehanort's nobody, Xemnas. They attempted to create an artificial Kingdom Hearts by gathering hearts released from the fallen Heartless, but Sora and his friends thwarted their plans and put an end to most of their ranks. The members of Organization 13 were recompleted as humans after their destruction. Like Sora's newfound ally Axel, they retain memories of their lives both during the organization and before. The real Organization 13, a new organization under Master Xehanort's direct command. It comprises the 13 pure darknesses he needs to reenact the Keyblade War. Many members are recognizable from the old organization. Despite regaining their humanity after their defeat, they chose to become nobodies again. They now scour the worlds for candidates to complete their numbers. The 3 realms. The worlds Sora travels are divided into 3 regions: the Realm of Light, the Realm of Darkness, and the Realm Between. Worlds in the realm of light and the realm between exist as planets in a great sea of stars, which Sora and his friends explore aboard their smile-powered gummy ship. The realm of darkness, however, exists in a space closed off from time. It is accessible only via dark corridors, pathways that open for agents of darkness, or when worlds become unstable, or by using the power of waking. As a result, Aqua has spent years wandering the realm of darkness, unable to return to the light. Datascapes. Artificial simulations based on real-world data. Inside a datascape, time can be made to loop infinitely, and the impossible becomes possible. The alternate Twilight town that Roxas shared with Hainer, Pence, and Olette is one such world. Order. Donald's magic ensures that Sora and his fellow travelers will always assume an appropriate form for the worlds they visit, so as not to disrupt the local order. In general, the Guardians of Light take the most utmost care not to spread knowledge of the other worlds to the residents of the place they visit, or at least they try. Sora has a habit of forgetting, and every slip of the tongue earns him a fresh lecture from Donald. The power of waking. In Yen Sid's words, the power to free a heart from its sleep. By the end of his Mark of Mastery examination, Sora had acquired the power of waking, but he lost it when he nearly became a vessel for Xehanort. It is a rare and special power. At the time of this writing, only Riku and the King possess. Lost memories. Sora's memories of his adventures at Castle Oblivion in the Realm Between, and of the members of the Organization 13 he faced there. In the end, he cast aside his memories of Castle Oblivion and fell into a deep slumber in order to repair the original memories he'd lost. The Nobodies of Organization 13 were unaffected by the castle and still retained unilateral memories of their encounters with Sora there. Ansem's Code. A set of data Ansem the Wise cached within Sora while Sora's memories were being repaired. It was entrusted to Riku during the Mark of Mastery examination. Ienzo and the others Ienzo and the others back at Radiant Garden are doing their utmost to decipher this data, since it may hold the key to saving Roxas, Naminé, and others. The Replica Program. Man. A research project that was helmed by Vexen when he was part of the original Organization 13. The goal was to create empty vessels that could contain a heart and outwardly reflect its original appearance. The previous organization used the replica to copy Sora's memories, hoping to give life to a Keyblade wielder of their own. But while Vexen did manage to create viable specimens, the program was cut short before it could reach completion. The Black Box. The object of Maleficent and Pete's search. Maleficent believes it has been hidden away since the Age of Fairy Tales, but no one knows where it is or what exactly it contains. The Old Words. May your heart be your guiding key. A phrase often intoned by Keyblade users in the Age of Fairy Tales. The words live on today, though few still recite them. Okay, so I'm actually gonna read the DLC things from. I'm gonna read the glossary parts from the DLC. If you don't want to see this and you want to see the rest of the episodes for yourself of the DLC, you can go ahead and skip to the next part of the journal. But I'm gonna go ahead and wait a couple seconds for you to skip to the next part if you want. But I'm gonna keep reading. Okay. A black coat worn by members of the organization. Coat that wards darkness. A black coat worn by members of the organization said to ward off the corruption that permeates the dark corridors. It is said that Xehanort, in his younger years, received this coat from a man claiming to be one of the Lost Masters, but its origin remains shrouded in mystery. On another note, it seems that the armor worn by the apprentices of Ericus possesses the same effect. Mark of Mastery Examination. An examination that accomplished Keyblade wielders must take to achieve the rank of Master. The contents of the exam are not set, and are determined by the mentor who administers it. The objective of Sora and Riku's exam was to gain the power of waking in his sleeping worlds. It was through completing this challenge that Riku became a master. Number I. Though she was welcomed into the organization as its 14th member, Xion was ironically given an imaginary number during the replica program. Thus, after she was marked with the X of the recusant sigil, the name Xion was given to her as an anagram of X and no I. I still like to imagine no I as like, it's supposed to be referencing no identity, and they turn it into Xion. Tear in the fabric of time. A divergence in the fabric of time that occurred when Sora used the power of waking to overwrite the timeline of defeat. When this phenomenon came into being, a new world without defeat was born, creating two contradictory histories within the same timeline. Young Xehanort's Experiments. A series of experiments that investigated the darkness that dwells in the hearts of people. They were performed by Xehanort, who had taken over Terra's body when he was an apprentice under Ansem. The experiments involved removing and adding darkness to the hearts of subjects, but most ended in failure. However, their results would later be referenced by Vexen during the replica program. Resuscent Sigil. The mark of X that Xemnas grants to members of the organization when they are welcomed in. Members then adopt a new name that is an anagram that includes X in their original name. The Resuscent Sigil is said to carry special meaning for the forces of darkness, and as such, they were easily able to track Sora after he was suddenly branded with it during his Mark of Mastery exam. Okay, so now we can go through the story. A lot of things here, though. And I'm gonna get a drink of water. Alright. Main story. Freshly revived and flanked by a new Organization 13, Master Xehanort has set his plans in motion. By staging a clash between 7 Guardians of Light and the Organization's 13 Seekers of Darkness, he intends to forge a weapon called the Keyblade and plunge the worlds into shadow once more. We need to find 7 Guardians of Light and meet his challenge. If we don't face him, Xehanort will target 7 innocent hearts instead. King Mickey's mentor, Master Yen Sid, believes the first step is to find 3 lost Keyblade wielders who vanished over a decade ago. Aqua, Ventus, and Terra. Any or all of them could be potential Guardians of Light. In the meantime, Sora needs to free Roxas's heart, which is sleeping inside his own. To do so, he'll need the power of waking. And so it was that Master Yen Sid sent Sora, Donald, and Goofy on a new journey to try and find that power. Everybody returned to Master Yen Sid's tower to share information. Sora was given some brand new vestments to wear, and I joined the team to chronicle the adventure. Jiminy Cricket, at your service! While we were away, Riku and King Mickey had been exploring the realm of darkness in search of Aqua, but they ran into a powerful swarm of Heartless. Both their Keyblades were rendered useless in the struggle, and they were forced to retreat to the tower. Sora pointed out that we have no vessel to put Roxas's heart in and make him whole. Riku told him about the replicas created by Organization 13. Maybe one of those would work, since they change appearance to reflect the heart that's put in them. That gave us all a little hope as we pressed on to the next world. Sora knew that Organization 13 turning up in all the worlds we were visiting couldn't possibly be a good sign, but he was distracted by a call from Ienzo in Radiant Garden. Ienzo and his team had deciphered some of Ansem the Wise's data, and it had revealed that Sora's heart was home to not 1, not 2, but 3 other unique hearts. The first was Roxas, and the second we now suspected was Ventus. Who was the third? With yet another new mystery to solve, we continued our journey. We reported back to Master Yen Sid, Riku, and King Mickey, and learned that the new Seven Hearts Organization 13 were looking for must be 7 hearts of pure light who inherited the powers of the 7 princesses. Sora knew we'd have to speed things up to keep Rapunzel, Elsa, Anna, and Kairi, safe. He volunteered to head to the realm of darkness to keep looking for Aqua, but Riku convinced him to focus on acquiring the power of waking instead. At last, we had our 7 guardians. Joining Sora, Riku, and the king were Axel and Kairi, fresh back from their training with Merlin, and 2 of the missing Keyblade wielers, Aqua and Ventus. We all renewed our vows to rescue Roxas, Naminé, and Terra, who still remained out of reach. The 7 guardians, plus Donald and Goofy, which made 9, prepared for the journey to the battleground where they would face Organization 13. With our council adjourned, Sora returned to the Destiny Islands with Riku and Kairi. Kairi shared a powerful fruit with Sora, intertwining their destinies and making sure they remain a part of each other's lives, no matter what. Well, isn't that sweet? Olympus. When Master Yen Sid told Sora he'd need to get his powers back, he suggested visiting a certain friend who had lost all of his strength and successfully gotten it back. Sora knew exactly who Master Yen Sid meant, and followed his heart to Olympus. Yet instead of the familiar Colosseum, he, Donald, and Goofy found themselves on a steep mountain trail. Perhaps less surprisingly, they ran into Hades, god of the underworld, who released powerful titans that blew our daring trio clear off the mountain. Sora, Donald, and Goofy landed in Thebes, where they literally dropped in on just the man they were looking for, the hero Hercules. However, their happy reunion was cut short when the pack of Heartless appeared and lit the city ablaze. With no time to waste, Herc and Sora split up to rescue any citizens still trapped in the fire. While searching the city, Sora and friends encountered a few less than Greek faces. Maleficent and Pete had come to Olympus in search of a black box, but paid little mind to Sora in his weakened state. More distressingly, Zigbar of Organization 13 seemed to suggest Sora's quest to gather hearts might do more harm than good. Sora was unnerved, but saving the people of Thebes had to come first. Just when it seemed as though Thebes was out of danger, dark clouds began to swirl around Mount Olympus, a sign that after 18 years of plotting, Hades had finally begun his coup. Herc raced ahead to the summit, worried for his father, Zeus, king of the gods. Sora, Donald, and Goofy hurried after him. Up the mountain they went, sending the Rock Titan for a tumble along the way. Soon they reached the gods' abode and joined the battle for Olympus. Herc used his godlike strength to free his father, Zeus. A dash of immortal combat and a flash of divine lightning later, Hades and the Titans had been sent packing. Sora never did get a clear answer about how to reclaim his lost strength, but Herc's off-the-cuff advice stuck with him. It's when we want to help people with all our heart that we're most likely to succeed, and that phrase would be Sora's beacon going forward. Twilight Town. Determined to help Roxas, Sora followed his heart to Twilight Town. Despite the Nobodies and Heartless around, the townspeople seemed to be mostly going about their lives in peace. It wasn't long before we ran into Hainer, Pence, and Olette, who were still on summer vacation. Goofy showed the kids a photo of them and Roxas. Amazingly, they had the same photo without Roxas. Intrigued, they decided to ask around town to see if anyone else knew about this mysterious boy. The rest of us headed to the old mansion shown in the photo, where Hainer, Pence, and Olette caught up with us. We tried to use the computer inside to transport us into Roxas' digital Twilight Town, but it didn't work. Ienzo contacted us from Radiant Garden, and Sora decided to leave the brain work to him and Pence. While they worked on a solution, we would head back outside to pursue other leads. Outside the mansion, Ansem and Xemnas were lying in wait for us. They tried to discourage Sora by saying that to release Roxas, his nobody, he'd have to give his heart over to darkness. But Sora didn't buy it. None of us did. We and the Twilight Town kids agreed to keep wishing for Roxas' return with all our hearts. Toy Box. After an exciting voyage on the gummy ship, we arrived in a strange new world where Sora, Donald, and Goofy all assumed the appearance of toys. The new look didn't stop them from walloping the Heartless, causing trouble though. Woody, Buzz, and Andy's other toys saw the fight and introduced themselves. They reported that many of their friends had vanished, which was followed closely by the arrival of the Heartless and a hooded stranger in black. Immediately suspecting Organization 13, we agreed to help the other toys search for clues at a nearby store called Galaxy Toys. Not long after arriving at Galaxy Toys, we had an unpleasant encounter with the organization's young Xehanort, who explained that he had separated Woody's group from Andy and the other toys by creating a second copy of their world. Worse yet, young Xehanort seemed to have the power to possess the toys at the shop, which might explain why some of Woody's friends had disappeared. Sora, Donald, and Goofy teamed up with Woody and Buzz to do battle with the possessed toys and rescue Rex, Ham, and the Little Green Men. With all the toys out of danger, Sora was ready to go after young Xehanort and put a stop to his scheme, but Buzz insisted that they had overstayed their welcome and needed to return home and wait for Andy. Despite being afraid of just about everything only moments ago, Rex was excited to find a likeness of Yozora, the video game character he'd mistaken Sora for. Buzz once again tried to convince the others to head home, but it was too late. Young Xehanort appeared and decided to advance his experiment to the next stage by taking control of Buzz and pitting him against his friends. Sora managed to fight his way out of the trap young Xehanort laid for him, and he, Woody, and the rest of us went to rescue Buzz. Young Xehanort tried to shake us up by saying that friendship is just another reason to feel darkness and loneliness, but Woody knew different. Toy or not, even far apart, he could feel Andy's love filling his heart. Sora knew better too. There are hearts all around us, even in toys, and loneliness is just the heart's way of holding on and trying to reconnect. We freed Buzz from young Xehanort's control and made a stand against the gigantic Heartless that appeared. Despite thwarting young Xehanort's plans, we still weren't able to put the toys world back to normal. Sora felt bad about it, but Woody pointed out the silver lining. If the world hadn't been split, none of us would have ever met each other. Happy to have made some new friends, we departed in high spirits, to infinity and beyond. Next up, Kingdom of Corona. We were all enjoying a leisurely stroll through the forest when a man came running by with a Heartless hot on his heels. Or just with Heartless hot on his heels. The man introduced himself as Flynn Rider and asked Sora, Donald, and Goofy to deal with the threat. But by the time the dust had settled, Flynn Rider was gone. We searched the environs and discovered a hidden passage that led to a tower just like something out of a painting. We reached the base of the tower just in time to see Flynn descending it alongside Rapunzel, a girl with long, long hair. She had never been outside the tower before, and her one wish was to travel to the kingdom and watch the people of Corona send up the lanterns. Concerned about all the Heartless, Sora volunteered to help Flynn escort her there safely. We made good progress, thanks in large part to Rapunzel's bravery, but when we scaled a hill and found a flower patch full of ferocious nobodies, Sora urged his new friends to flee while he, Donald, and Goofy pruned the threats back. After the battle, the organization's Marluxia appeared with an unexpected demand, that Sora protect Rapunzel, the precious light of this world. Someone else had been looking for Rapunzel too, Mother Gothel, who lived with Rapunzel in the tower. Sora was starting to fear for Rapunzel's safety, but perhaps he was worried about the wrong person. The Royal Guard's most tenacious steed, Maximus, seemed to have a bone to pick with Mr. Flynn Rider. Rapunzel's gentle words convinced Maximus to be nice, or at least relatively nice, to Flynn until we all got to the kingdom. It sure was a relief to be back together again, where we could look after each other. After a lively round of dancing in the bustling city square, we parted ways. Rapunzel and Flynn rowed out onto the lake, while the rest of us watched from the docks as the lanterns took flight. And always there to ruin the moment, Marluxia and his nobodies appeared and helped guide Rapunzel away from Flynn and back to Mother Gothel. Marluxia needed Rapunzel, one of the new Seven Hearts, to stay in the tower where she would be safe, and possibly useful to the organization. Sora grew furious at this revelation, but Marluxia used his powers to put him in a deep sleep before he could fight back. A slobbery tongue blast from Maximus woke Sora from his slumber, where Flynn, Donald, and Goofy were waiting. Flynn raced ahead to the tower to free Rapunzel, while the rest of us dealt with a seemingly endless supply of nobodies. At the tower, we watched as a cape fell to the window and spawned a powerful Heartless. It was a tough fight, but we prevailed. Things nearly ended badly for Eugene. Turns out that's Flynn's real name, but Rapunzel saved his life with the magic in her tears. She was the lost princess we saw in the kingdom's mosaic, whom Mother Gothel had taken as a baby. It was also Mother Gothel who had brought Rapunzel to the tiara in an attempt to drive her and Eugene apart. Knowing Eugene and Rapunzel had found true love and would look after each other, we parted ways with them, stronger for our new friendships and ready to explore more worlds. Next up, Monstropolis. As we arrived at the doors of a colossal power company called Monsters Incorporated, Sora, Donald, and Goofy discovered that Donald's magic had transformed them into monsters too. Inside, we were alarmed to find a pair of monsters with a little human girl, Boo. But one look at how happy Boo was convinced us that the monsters, Mike and Sully, must be friendly. When the decidedly less friendly Unversed appeared in the company lobby, we volunteered to play Exterminator. Given the circumstances, we all agreed that getting Boo home safely should be our top priority. Her house was connected to Sully and Mike's company by a special door, but our efforts to find it were cut short by sabotage. Arendelle, a former employee banished for scheming, had returned and was eager to stage a comeback using the energy from negative emotions. Mike, Sully, and the rest of us battled our way out of the factory with a little help from Boo's laugh energy. Along our way back to the door vault, we faced power outages, explosions, fires, and other frustrations, but Sully's quick thinking, and a little heavy lifting, helped us find a shortcut. Once again, we found ourselves face to face with Arendelle. Jealous of Sully and Mike's success, he tried to use a huge Unversed to get us all out of the picture. Oh. Of course, since you're reading this, you know it didn't work. Sully and Mike banished their rival from the factory again, and this time, Sora used his Keyblade to lock the door behind Arendelle for good measure. Just as Sully and Mike were about to send Boo home, the organization's Vanitas appeared. He was the one who brought Arendelle back and furnished him with Unversed in order to gather negative emotions. Vanitas revealed that Ventus, one of the missing Keyblade wielders, now sleeps inside of Sora, then attempted to rejoin with Ventus by force. Again, Sully's quick thinking saved the day. With an imposing roar, he overpowered Vanitas and saved Sora from who knows what fate. Funny thing is, there's actually a meme for this called Yeetus Vanitas, of Sully just chucking Vanitas into a door, throwing that door into a door, throwing that door into a door, throwing that door into a door, and throwing that door into a door, and then shredding that last door. With our roller coaster quest for Boo's door finally over, we said our goodbyes to our little friend as she returned to her room. Next, it was time to bid Sully and Mike farewell. We shared a few more laughs together, then said our thank yous and got back to our usual business. Next up is Arendelle. We next found ourselves on a freezing, snow-covered mountainside. While battling the cold and the Heartless, Sora saw a woman run across the frozen sea and up the mountain. We decided to go after her. As she introduced herself as Queen Elsa of Arendelle, we were suddenly ambushed by more Heartless. Elsa wiped one of them out with a magical blast of ice. It was that power, and the possibility that she might hurt someone with it, that had convinced Elsa she must leave her kingdom behind. She ran from us, asking to be left alone, but her sadness and selflessness struck a chord with Sora. It was then that a member of Organization 13, going by Larxene, appeared and tried to trap us in a winding, wintry maze. We escaped and followed Elsa's trail up the North Mountain, where we watched in awe as she constructed a magnificent palace of ice. But again, Larxene prevented us from speaking with Elsa. It turned out the organization had been observing Elsa to see if she might be one of the new 7 hearts. Before we knew it, Larxene had flung us back down the slopes, where we soon found ourselves caught in a massive avalanche. Soon after digging ourselves out of the snow, we made some new friends. A walking, talking snowman named Olaf, Elsa's younger sister Anna, Kristoff, her guide, and Sven, Kristoff's reindeer companion. Anna had come up the mountain to find Elsa and put an end to the unnatural winter affecting Arendelle. She told Sora about her childhood and how she and her sister grew apart. Elsa's choice to live in solitude to protect her sister... Elsa's choice to live in solitude to protect her sister reminded Sora of Riku's actions in the past. When a pack of Heartless attacked, we told Anna and her friends to hurry on to Elsa's palace while we handled the threat. After getting bounced from the palace gates by an enormous ice creature, a frustrated Anna fought back, an act that literally snowballed into a full-blown panic. We tried to buy time for her and the others to escape, but we were backed up against a cliff that crumbled beneath us. Falling down the mountain was starting to become routine. Sora was determined to speak to Elsa, but on the way back to the palace, we saw a suspicious man carrying her toward Arendelle. Further along, we crossed paths with the ice creature we'd battled before. Sora realized he was trying to save Elsa too, so we all joined forces and made our way towards the town. We soon learned that from Kristoff that Anna was in danger too. Time was running out. As Kristoff and Sven ran ahead, we did our best to keep pace, crossing the icy sea with the help of our big snow pal. We watched helplessly as Anna stepped in to defend her sister and turned to solid ice. A powerful Heartless took shape from the darkness in the man who had attacked them. Knowing only we could stop it, we stepped in and did our small part to defend Arendelle, whichever. Then, we watched in wonder as Anna thawed. It was her selfless act of true love for her sister that dispelled the magic. Elsa, in turn, realized she could control her magic with that same love. Each of them proved to be one of the new 7 hearts. We still didn't have all 7 of our guardians, but Larxene claimed the organization was all but ready for the final clash. We knew Elsa and Anna's happiness would be short-lived if we didn't gather our numbers, and soon. Next up is the Caribbean. There Sora and the rest of us were, enjoying the pirate life aboard our modest raft, when we suddenly began to run out of sea. We plummeted over a precipice and into the waiting abyss. We found ourselves stranded in an endless, white desert, and strangely enough, along came the Black Pearl, coasting somehow atop the sands. Imagine our surprise when we saw its captain, our friend Jack Sparrow, chasing after it on foot. Soon, we too were pursuing the runaway ship. We reached a beach where we found Jack's friends waiting, some of them familiar faces. All had come to rescue Jack from Davy Jones's locker, to which he'd been banished after getting devoured by the Kraken. Up in the world of the living, Cutler Beckett had acquired the chest containing Davy Jones's heart. He was using it to manipulate Jones and his ship, the Flying Dutchman, and seize control of the whole ocean. Aboard the Pearl, Teodama explained that Jack too coveted the chest to escape his unpaid debt to Jones. Having only just escaped from Davy Jones's locker, we were beset by a swarm of flying Heartless. Sora fell into the sea while fighting them off, and Donald and Goofy dove in after him. We washed up on a lonely island shore, but the Black Pearl was long gone. The only friend we found was Jack Sparrow, who insisted we set out in search of a new ship. Deep beyond an undersea grotto, we discovered a magnificent ship cast away. Cast away? Yeah. Under Jack's guidance, Sora took to the seas once more, but it wasn't long before we were approached by a ship captained by Luxord of Organization 13. Luxord invoked the right of parley, and after some brief negotiations with Jack, the two agreed to a race. The stakes? Information about a certain black box. Our crew won the race, but Luxord tricked Jack into revealing the box's location just the same. Satisfied, the swindler sailed off after the Flying Dutchman, and though Sora was eager to give chase, the ship was badly damaged, so we made to Port Royal to see for repairs instead. The repairs, if you'll believe it, involved gathering strange white crabs with an even stranger power. It appeared the ship we'd been sailing was an enchanted one, and one that wasn't the end of the surprises. When the ship was repaired, Jack asked Sora what he sought to do with it. When Sora replied, to explore the seas as free as the wind, Jack acknowledged him as a true pirate captain, then disappeared. It turned out the Jack we'd been traveling with was just another phantom sent by the goddess of the sea. Sora was free to sail wherever he pleased, but he also knew the real Jack and his friends had a terrible battle ahead of them, so we set a course for Shipwreck Cove to offer what aid we could. Despite Luxord's interference, we managed to reach the Black Pearl before it was too late. Our pirate friends were preparing for one last stand against Beckett. We decided to make our way to the Flying Dutchman and help Jack in his fight against Davy Jones. The battle was won, but not without sacrifice. To save Will's life, Jack had him run a sword through Davy Jones's heart. With that, Will became the Flying Dutchman's new captain, cursed to be apart from his love, Elizabeth, for 10 years at a time. We took comfort in the belief that even one day in a decade is still enough time for the two hearts to remain connected, and then departed to return to our greater mission. Next up, San Fransokyo. Not long after arriving in San Fransokyo, we met a team of crime-fighting heroes called Big Hero 6. After a near defeat against the Heartless, the team's leader, Hero, gave Sora an AR device and asked him to train with them. By collecting Sora's data, Hero would be able to upgrade everyone's abilities and gain the upper hand against the Heartless. Always eager to help, Keyblade Hero 3 took to the streets with their new friends. By joining forces, Sora, Donald, Goofy, and the Big Hero 6 team successfully put the Heartless to rout. As we celebrated, Hero explained that Baymax was originally a healthcare robot created by his late brother Tadashi, and that the Big Hero 6 team had come together to fulfill Tadashi's dream of helping others. Seeing the connection Hero and his friends shared reminded Sora of the bond between Roxas and his friends Hayner, Pence, and Olette. A new threat appeared in San Fransokyo, the Dark Cubes. They were immune to all forms of attack, and Hero's analysis revealed that they could only be defeated by attacking the core unit controlling the swarm. As Hero worked to track that core, the scattered Dark Cubes threatened the other members of Big Hero 6 before converging on a single location. A figure appeared dressed in a black coat. It was Riku, or at least what looked like a younger Riku, but this dark Riku turned out to be a replica. He admitted the organization was behind the Dark Cubes and was employing them to investigate the possibility of recreating a heart from data using the first ship Hero made for Baymax. Oh boy. Though the heroes were able to defeat the Dark Cube's core, Dark Riku's words left Sora and Hero especially shaken. Hero explained that the current Baymax is actually the second iteration of the robot that his brother, Tadashi, originally created. That meant the chip in Dark Riku's possession must be from the first Baymax, who was lost in another dimension. We confronted Dark Riku atop a skyscraper and watched in horror as he summoned the original Baymax, installed the combat chip containing the negative emotions the Dark Cubes had gathered, and transformed Tadashi's gentle robot into an instrument of war. Sora saw how hard it was for Hero. Dark Baymax needed to be stopped, but Hero's friend was still in there somewhere, beneath all the darkness. Bravely, Sora volunteered to step up in Hero's place, and he and Baymax 2.0 took flight to remove this new threat from San Fransokyo skies. Hero destroyed the chip, and with that, Dark Baymax was no more. Thankfully, though, that's not the end of our story. Hero repaired his old friend so that the original Baymax could go back on duty as a personal healthcare companion. All of us were overjoyed, and we joined Big Hero 6 in giving their old friend a warm, heartfelt welcome. That's so sweet and wholesome. Alright, next up is the 100-Acre Wood. Back aboard the gummy ship, we received a call from Chip and Dale. They said the Wizard Merlin wanted to speak with Sora for some reason. We headed to Twilight Town, where we suspected he might be having a spot of tea. Sure enough, we found Merlin at Little Chef's Bistro. The wizard produced a picture book, the very book containing the world of Winnie the Pooh and his friends. Sora should have been a familiar face in the 100-Acre Wood, but for some reason his picture had vanished from the book's cover. Sora decided to pay the wood a visit and figure out what exactly might be going on. "You're home," said Pooh, as he and all his friends welcomed Sora back. Everyone seemed to be safe and happy as they gathered at Rabbit's house, and so Sora was all but ready to go. But before he could, he was roped into helping Rabbit with the garden work. Once the last of the harvest was in, Rabbit presented an overjoyed Pooh Bear with a pot full of honey. But Pooh's next remark troubled Sora greatly. Sora realized that Pooh had forgotten him briefly, and that meant their connection had weakened somehow, or been weakened. Since the last time he'd seen Pooh, Sora had nearly become Xehanort's vessel. What other connections had been broken in the process? Merlin reminded him with a smile that what is lost can always be found again. Next, the Realm of Darkness. As we returned to the gummy ship, Chip and Dale called with distressing news. They'd lost contact with Riku and the king within the Realm of Darkness. Sora let his heart be his guiding key, and we went through the gate that he created. The gate led to the Destiny Islands. The gate led to the Destiny Islands, where Sora found an old Keyblade lying on the beach. We discovered a door that could only lead to the Realm of Darkness, and Sora proceeded through it alone, leaving the rest of us to anxiously await his return. Sora followed Riku's voice to the shore of a dark sea. There, he found his friend and the king barely holding their own against Aqua, whose heart had been consumed by darkness. Sora prevailed over Aqua and pulled her from the sea as she began sinking into its depths. At long last, Master Aqua returned to the Realm of Light. Aqua wasted no time in traveling to Castle Oblivion to awaken Ventus. We decided to go along. As she arrived at the gates, Aqua raised her Keyblade and unlocked the castle, restoring it to its original form, the land of departure. Inside, we found Ventus asleep on a throne. But we were not alone. Vanitas had followed us in yet another bid to take control of Ventus by force. Aqua fought gallantly against Vanitas to protect her brother in training and keep the rest of us out of danger, but her opponent's underhanded tactics proved too much for her. As Vanitas raised his Keyblade to deliver the final blow, Sora cried out for help, with all his heart. There, deep down inside him, he heard the voice of Ventus, who revealed the power of waking had been inside Sora all along. Sora's power of waking returned Ventus' heart to his body, turning the tide of the battle and forcing Vanitas to retreat. Aqua and Ventus rejoiced in each other's company. The last two Keyblade wielders reunited at long last. Oh, this is gonna be a long one. The Keyblade Graveyard. Hang on. Alright. The 13 members of Darkness and 7 Guardians of Light convened in the Keyblade Graveyard, and the Keyblade War began anew. Sora and the others cut through legions of darkness. Sora and the others cut through legions of darkness, Nobodies and Unversed, oblivious to the true dangers that awaited them. Terra Xehanort appeared and single-handedly struck down Ventus and Axel. Donald mustered all of his magical might to blast our foe away, but collapsed from the exhaustion afterwards. Then, a demon tide broke loose from the Realm of Darkness and consumed all of our friends. Our light had expired before it could so much as flicker. Crushed, Sora wept. Alone, I'm worthless. We've lost. But as shadow washed over the rest of us, Riku reminded his friend, "You don't believe that. I know you don't." Sora awoke in a world of nothing but sea and sky. He'd seen this place in his dreams before. But this wasn't sleep. He encountered a strange creature named Kirathi. who told him he was in the final world. While Sora's heart had survived utter destruction, his physical form had been fragmented, and so he set about piecing himself back together. Whole once more, he wished with all his heart to save his friends and return to the legion of shadow that had consumed him. That's when I realized I was still here too. I encouraged Sora to explore the worlds we'd been to and free the hearts of our lost friends. Sora pursued his friend's captor through dark corridor after dark corridor, freeing their hearts one by one, all except Kyrie's. It was then that Chip and Dale told us the way to the Keyblade graveyard had reopened. Before we could go look for Kyrie, though, young Xehanort appeared and offered up a cryptic warning that Sora was misusing the power of waking and would pay a high price for it. What did he mean? We returned to the site of our defeat, where Sora was reunited with Kyrie amidst the demon tide's darkness. Kyrie never stopped believing in Sora, and the pure light within her, one of the new 7 hearts, was what kept his heart from being extinguished. She took his hand, and together they left the dark to a familiar sight, the Keyblade graveyard, shortly before we made our last stand. A heart of light, so long as it retains even the faintest glow, will always rise to banish the darkness, as sure as dawn sweeps away the night. So it was that Terra's lingering will awakened and began wresting control of his body back from Xehanort. So it was that Keyblade wielders from the past came and fought alongside Sora against the great demon tide. And so it was that Yen Sid, Donald, and Goofy stood bravely against a sea of Heartless. The many bonds we shared became our courage and our armor as we pressed on to settle things with Organization 13 once and for all. Riku had been holding his ground alone against Dark Riku and Xigbar, and Ansem, who retreated when Sora joined the fight. The two friends defeated Dark Riku, who insisted the Riku on our side was the fake, but the final judgment was rendered by a third Riku, the replica inside Riku's heart. He could have seized Dark Riku's body for his own, but instead the replica sacrificed himself in order to tear Dark Riku free from the vessel, so that it could be saved for Naminé. Xigbar was defeated as well, asserting with his final words that he too was worthy of wielding a Keyblade. With the present fight ended, Riku took off after Ansem, while Sora pressed onward to the next battle. Sora arrived to find the king single-handedly facing Marluxia, Larxene, Luxord, and Xemnas. Seeing the tide of battle shift, Xemnas made a hasty retreat, leaving his fellow organization members to be defeated one by one. Luxord, empowered by Xemnas, trapped the king in a card and challenged Sora to one final game. Sora saw through the ruse and emerged victorious. With his final breath, Luxord offered praise for the young Keyblade wielder. As for Larxene, she claimed she'd never truly been in Master Xehanort's corner, but was sticking by someone else. And Marluxia's defeat seemed to dwindle his heart and trigger memories of who he once was. Another small battle had been won. King and Mickey went after Xemnas, and Sora continued on to help the others. Ventus and Aqua were waging their own battles. Ventus and Aqua were waging their own battles. He against Vanitas, and she against Terra Xehanort. Sora arrived just in time to level the playing field. Vanitas' mask was shattered, revealing a face identical to Sora's beneath it. Even as he perished, he refused to come into the light, insisting that light is defined by shadow. As for Terra Xehanort, Aqua and Ventus were careful not to harm their friend's body too gravely, but Terra Xehanort refused to cease his vicious onslaught. Thankfully, their bonds of friendship won out. With a rasp, Terra spoke with his own voice for the first time in forever, and he banished Xehanort from his body once and for all. The three friends, battered but unbroken, celebrated their long overdue reunion while Sora pushed onward to the next battle. Axel and Kyrie were still new to the Keyblade, and it was showing as they tried to fend off Syx in another black coat. As Xemnas prepared to finish off the traitor Axel, the mysterious third figure came to Axel's defense. Her name was Xion, and the connection that she and Axel shared was finally enough to awaken Roxas from within Sora and to call him back into this world. Sora and the others now held the advantage, but Xemnas refused a peaceful end. He grabbed Kairi and fled. Roxas and Xion took Axel and Kairi's place in battle and helped Sora retain Sayex's rage. Before expiring, Sayex rekindled his friendship with Axel. Kairi's abduction was a crushing blow, but Sora knew he had to keep going. With the gauntlet of battles fought and won, Sora rejoined Riku and the King. The three of them faced off against Xehanort in various forms. They had no choice now that Kairi was Xehanort's hostage. With one light or another, Xehanort was determined to open Kingdom Hearts. Sora, Riku, and Nikki showed tremendous courage as they defeated Ansem, Xemnas, and young Xehanort. But these were the very clashes Master Xehanort needed to create the Keyblade. He required just one more. Sora watched in horror as Master Xehanort struck Kairi down. Sora and his friends were filled with rage, yet the moment they struck back at Xehanort, the clash between 13 darknesses and 7 lights was complete, and the Keyblade was forged. Kingdom Hearts was steeped in darkness, and the world around us began to crumble. Yet still, the Guardians of Light refused to give up. King Mickey explained that if Xehanort could be drawn away from Kingdom Hearts, its power could be contained by the Keyblade for a time. Sora volunteered to take our nemesis on himself. With Donald and Goofy by his side, two faithful friends who had stuck with him through countless adventures, Sora leapt through Xehanort to cast the old master through his own portal. Towards Xehanort, sorry. Scala ad Caelum. The trio emerged into a breathtaking townscape where stark white buildings stood beneath a sapphire sky. The world, Master Xehanort explained, was called Scala ad Caelum, and long ago it was a seat of power for Keyblade wielders. Here, at the end of a long, grueling journey, we steeled ourselves for the final battle, to see Xehanort's ambitions thwarted, and with hope in our hearts that somewhere, somehow, we might save Kairi in the process. Oh. I'm not gonna... actually, you know what? Again, I'm gonna give you guys about 10 seconds to skip to the next part of this, the next part of this video, starting now. Okay, now we're gonna continue on with Re+Mind. As Sora came to, he found himself back in the final world, the world of ocean and sky. Before he even got his bearings, Kirithi appeared with an unexpected sound in this otherwise quiet world. Kirithi taught Sora how to get Kairi back, but warned him of the great price he would have to pay. But Sora, who had always followed his heart, was determined to save Kairi. He decided to return to the past, existing only as an embodiment of his heart. Sora returned to a point in the past where history had not yet been rewritten. There, he came into contact with the hearts of Ventus and Aqua, both of which were under the threat from Terra Xehanort. Deep within Ventus's heart, Sora battled a physical manifestation of the darkness, and as he traced his way into Aqua's heart, he came face to face with her fear and despair. Sora proceeded to the world where there was no defeat. There, his heart was approached by Nominees. Seeing that Terra's heart was lost deep in the darkness, Nominee had instead brought with her Terra's will, which embodied his fear, anger, and regret. It is with these unbridled emotions that Terra's lingering will confronted Terra Xehanort. Whereas Terra Xehanort represented Terra's physical body, the lingering will represented the tangible elements in his heart. The clash between these two entities would be devastating for Terra. In an effort to stop this, Sora followed the connection between hearts and joined the fight. Exhausted, Sora was caught off guard and lost consciousness. As time continued to flow in the world of the past, Sora suddenly found himself inside Terra's heart. The true Terra had protected him from Terra Xehanort's darkness. Encouraged, Sora resumed following the connection between hearts. The next heart Sora arrived at was Roxas's. As Sora touched upon Roxas's heart, The memories of Roxas that were inside Xion also flooded into him. For Roxas, it was not enough to merely return as he was. He needed to restore the connection he shared with his dearest friends and reaffirm their bond. So, with Sora's help, Roxas, Axel, and Xion recovered the recusant sigil from Xemnas, the curse that binded them together in friendship. Meanwhile, it appeared as if events in the past could not be changed after all, as Kairi was abducted during the battle just as before. But now, having followed the connection to 5 guardians, Ventus, Aqua, Terra, Roxas, and himself, Sora only needed to follow 2 more guardians before he finally reached Kairi's. Or 2 more guardians' hearts before he finally reached Kairi's. Before Sora was able to follow the next connection, he was forced to witness Kairi's essence being shattered yet again. But in the depths of despair, Sora heard the voice of the king. He informed Sora that Kairi could still be saved. Master Xehanort needed to keep her as insurance until Kingdom Hearts opened. Armed with this knowledge, Sora jumped into Master Xehanort's portal before his past self caught up. Okay, so that was the entire thing of the story. I think I already read the secret reports before, and this episode is really already long enough. So, I think I'm going to end this video here. I know it was absolutely ridiculously long, but, you know, I just really wanted to do this, because, it's not often I read all the journal entries, but at least for Kingdom Hearts 3, I wanted to do that. So, I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I did, and I want to thank you all for watching this episode. And I want to thank you all for watching this episode of Kingdom Hearts 3, where I read through the journal. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want more content in the future, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell, and I will see you all next time.